Yo! Hello everyone, how are we doing today? What's good? Flower, Kino, Kreutz, Miso, Kieta, Joe, Devsky, ATPR, Venmium, Gigiyoshi, Nectar. Did I say Devsky already? I think I did say Devsky already. Oopie, Ozzy, Rye, Cardinal, Nectar, Venmium, Morphin, Hegeli. How are we doing? How are we doing, homies? I hope we are having a lovely day today, because I am having a lovely day. Also, you two people, what's up? Viola, or Jake, and Daddy. Welcome in, homies. Welcome in. How are we doing? How are we doing today? We're gonna be starting out. Okay, here's the thing. We're gonna be doing Ask Bojack. I guess, you know, there might be some new people from YouTube because I posted a video today. If you wanna hop in, ask any questions, join my Discord server, drop questions in the Ask Bojack channel, and I will answer them. Any questions, ask away. I think to start out, I think we're gonna just do a live rewatch of the video I posted today. I posted a video today, guys. Holy moly, I'm locked in. I'm locked in. There's so much to talk about. Let's freaking do it. For those of you that don't know, okay, I know every time I post a video, I'm like, guys, I'm locking in now. Like, expect videos from me more consistently. But this time for real. This time for real, because I have hired an editor. Damu is now editing with me. Right now, we're working collaboratively. Work on a project together. Eventually, he's probably going to be working a bit more independently. But yeah. My goal is to get a video out every week or every 2 weeks. So probably like 2 videos every 3 weeks. 3 or 4 videos a month. That's the goal. That's the goal. But yeah, this was the first video with Damu. I think it went really well. I think it went really, really well. I will say, I normally hate editing. I like, don't get me wrong, I like making videos. The creative process is fun. But like, when it comes to making videos, I love writing scripts. I love, you know, sorting out the music that goes along with it. I love coming up with like the big ideas. But when it comes to like editing and going into the game and grabbing shots, it can be a bit tedious. But working with someone else just in call, talking about it as I do it, is so much better. It is so much better. So this is a good situation. I feel like this works for me. I can make videos a lot more consistently now. Fingers crossed. That's a lot of videos. It is a lot of videos. I mean, hell, right now, I have... How many videos do I have planned? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I have 15 videos planned, and a lot of them scripts are partially written or fully written. So, you know, lots to expect. I think next week, I have some very important stuff coming up, so I'm gonna be choosing a bit of an easier video for the next week so we can just get it done and I can focus on this other very important stuff. So it'll also be a good video. But the one after that will be the Warby Shuffle video, the one we've all been waiting on. The big one. Very exciting. I'm very excited for that one. I think I'm gonna cook. Me and Dom are gonna cook. Alright, let's watch.
Ultimate
I got a whole bunch to talk about.
Is special. It's the most dynamic game that I've ever played. The fact that you build the level as you go gives the game limitless replayability. I've been playing UCH for almost 8 years.
Holy
and
hour
still,
count.
even
Wow.
now, every time I boot up the game,
I
create
love this
something
shot.
that's never
I
been seen
love
before.
this shot.
This is only possible because with 59 items in the game, there are countless combinations of things that you can create. But there's a problem.
Yeah, what's up,
Not
new
all items are equal. In the world
What's the
of
stream
competitive
about?
UCH,
Just talking about a
there's
bunch of stuff.
hierarchy.
And maybe doing some other
items
stuff.
find so little use that we removed them from
Patreon
the
is not
tournament
18
rule set
plus.
altogether.
Okay, this
Some
shot,
items-
this
in the world
shot
of
is
competitive UCH, there's a hierarchy.
the first shot that I've
Some
like
items-
used UC. I've used UCH Studio for some stuff, but like this is the first time UCH Studio made it possible for me to get a shot that wouldn't otherwise be possible. I think like realistically, I could get a shot like this, but I would need somebody else to be an actor, and it would probably take genuinely 2+ hours to get a shot like this. But with UCH Studio, like genuinely, all I do, I go into here, add a keyframe, 5 seconds. Like, it's so easy. So easy to create cinematic shots. I cannot overstate how much of a freaking game changer this is. I'm definitely going to get more work done on it soon, but yeah. Quality of videos increased so hard, music choice or perk. Thank you, Dexter. Yeah, this video is really high quality. I feel like even, like, originally this was supposed to be a throwaway video because I wanted to just pick some safer options while Damu's still getting used to editing in my style. But, like, I think this is probably the highest quality video I've put out. Honestly, I think in terms of like story and stuff, the protagonist video is still better, but I don't know. The quality is definitely getting there. I'm really
Find
excited
so
for
little use that
future
we
stuff.
removed them from the tournament rule set altogether. Some items are weak enough that they rarely get picked. Things like rotating saws, hockey shooters, and ice can be
It
hard
is
to
really
find
cool,
real uses
like,
for.
When editing
Most
videos,
items
trying to
fall
find
into
a
the
way
middle,
to put in
finding occasional
something
use,
visually
but
that
never
represents what I'm
defining the meta.
talking about without being like,
Some items are strong.
you know?
Some so powerful.
I feel like
that they
other
get picked
people when they edit
almost every
videos,
time they-
like for the most part, they have content that they're editing based off of, you know, like for streamers or something, they have streams where they do things and then they have an editor who goes through that and clips it. But for UCH, like I kind of have to design almost all of the shots myself, which is why, you know, videos can be very tedious and
They
hard to
show up.
make.
But there are two items that exist in a class of their own. Items so powerful that the entire game needs to be balanced around them. Items
Holy
so
aura.
strong that getting just one can change the outcome of an entire game. These items are black holes and Ferris wheels. I'm not exaggerating when I say that these items exist in a tier of their own. There are players who have managed to reach a high level of play
Bro,
by getting good at these.
VB low-key carried this video because I used so many clips of him playing, and I asked him to send me clips of Ferris wheels and black holes, and he sent me just the most beautiful, perfect clips possible.
Items and nothing else.
Like, oh my,
Black holes and
beautiful.
Ferris wheels are
Beautiful.
just that good. The first item I want to talk
Joined late, so is Damu going to make content or edit for you? So I'm gonna be writing all the scripts, and I'm gonna be, you know, sorting out the music choice and all that. So how it's gonna work? I'll just record the audio and all that. I'll set up the music, and then I'll hand that over to him, and he'll edit content from there. But it is still gonna be a collaborative process, so it's not just him editing. Like, I'm
about
still
is the black hole.
absolutely in on
This
it.
item is the Swiss Army knife of UCH. There isn't a single thing that you can't do with them.
Awesome shot.
You want to create something difficult? Black holes can do it. You want to nerf an existing setup? Black holes can do it. You want to manipulate projectiles? Black holes can make it happen.
Awesome shot. I love
Black holes
this.
are also
Another
small,
UCH
so not
Studio
only can they
W.
do all of these things,
Bojack
they can
juggle?
do it in
No.
almost any
Soon. I'll
situation.
juggle in a bit.
An item like the linear saw can be
Maybe not
powerful,
today, because I'm wearing
but it's
pants
so
that have a
big
hole in
that
them.
There are only so many places where it'll fit. For black holes, this isn't an issue. You can take it a step further because black holes are just small enough that you can get past them in a tight space like this. If
This
that
was
wasn't
Damu,
enough,
by the
black
way. I
holes
just want to
are
let you guys know. Listen, Damu, I'm sorry to flame you, man. I'm sorry to throw shade your
a
direction.
space like this.
But, you know, people always say how they, you know, they like my movement in UCH. So I just have to let you guys know, this one is Damu dressing up as me. I can't
If that
have
wasn't
the
enough, black holes are one of the
Can't
hardest
have
items in
my
the game
name
to nerf. If my
slandered.
opponent places a really good crossbow,
I'm
I
good,
can
I'm
nerf
good.
it by just blocking it off. With black holes, even if I block them off, they still pull you through the wall. The only realistic way to nerf a black hole setup is with a bomb.
Right, I hate you, man. I hate you. I thought bro. Okay, my black hole movement's improving. I've actually been working on. I've genuinely been working on. There's a clip that'll
Which
come
isn't
up
as common in
soon,
competitive
and
play.
it was me doing it.
I said before that
This
black
one right
holes
here.
are
This is
good
all
for
me.
making
This is all
hard
me.
setups.
I made this
I don't
map
think I
specifically to
emphasized just
practice
how
the type of black
ridiculously
holes that Evan XO destroys me on.
Really are. With black holes, the direction that you hold while you're getting pulled influences how it pulls
Yeah, but not
you.
that good. You think I couldn't do this? You're crazy. You're crazy. You're messed up in the
No
head,
matter
man.
what
You're
you
messed up in the
place,
head.
There's almost always some combination of inputs that makes it possible.
This one was
This
actually
depth
stupidly
makes
hard.
it possible to create insane difficulty and complexity with just a single item. Look at this setup.
Hey, people in chat, someone told me to
If
ask
I
Bojack
wanted
some
to
stuff because he's the
force
best person to
something
ask. Is
of
there,
this
is
level
there a
using
moment
other
in the
items,
final part of the
it would
stream
take
that he opens up a
multiple
question in the
turns to
chat?
set it up.
Let me tell you, you are in luck today, homie. Join this Discord server and go to the Ask Bojack channel. I'm literally doing a whole segment where I just answer
With
questions
black
from the
holes,
chat.
It takes just one.
Go crazy.
This is Variety Bear.
I love this.
He's one of the best players in the world.
Dude, why does Variety
He's
Bear's
great
movement just
when it
so
comes to
different?
Precision,
Like,
complex
nobody
movement,
looks
and
like
speed
him.
running,
He just
but
looks...
his
I think
greatest
Variety
asset
Bear has the most unique and beautiful looking movement in the game. Like, it's just so
skill
good,
with
man.
black
It's
holes.
so good.
He is so good with them that if a black hole shows up, your only hope is to take it as quickly as possible in hopes that he doesn't get it. This strategy wasn't enough though. Variety Bear was so dominant that top players studied the game's code and learned how to manipulate the game's RNG to make it less likely that black holes would show up. I'll be completely honest. There are still
Honest to
more
God, Pigs,
things
it
that I
does.
could tell you about just how ridiculous black holes are. But I hope by now that you get my point. Because black holes aren't the only item that are this strong.
Holy Ferris wheels.
Ferris wheels are a newer addition to this list. They've existed for a long time, but it was only recently that the community realized just how much you can do with them. To understand just what makes them so powerful, I first need to explain an important concept in
Thwomps are the best
UCH
block in the
strategy.
game. Thwomps are great.
said
Thwomps are
before
great.
that
I think it'll
UCH
take
is
a
a
bit
very
before
expressive
we
game.
really understand
There
their
isn't
true
just
strength.
one way to be
And we need
good.
to fix the rule set.
Some
We need to
players are
update the
good with
in-game
black
tournament rule
holes,
set
some
to
players
have
are
better
good with
percentages
projectiles,
because they're
and
way
some
too
players are
common
good
right
with
now.
spike balls. But this idea isn't limited to just which items you're good with. UCH involves such complex skill sets that I could watch any top 20 player with their name turned off and tell you who it is just by seeing how they play. The most notable example of this is Raito. If you've heard of just one UCH player, it's probably Raito. He's one of the greatest players of all time, so he's good at everything. But the most impressive part of his skill set is his ability to navigate through chaotic spaces and figure things out on the fly. There's an idea in UCH called space control.
Okay, I'm actually very curious to hear people's opinions on this section of the video. Because originally I was going to do an entire video on its own about the idea of emergent versus deliberate setups, but no matter how many times I tried to write the script, it just turned out being way too dense. I didn't feel like it would work for a casual audience, but I'm curious to hear what you guys think of if this section got the idea across correctly.
The way that
Bonus
you build
points if
can
you're a
influence
less
entire
skilled
spaces
player.
and control
I
which
value
types
your
of
opinion a
setups are
lot
possible
for
to
this
place
kind of
within
thing.
them. The main types of setups are categorized as either deliberate or emergent. A
If anyone in the
deliberate
chat
setup
happens to
is
be a
one which has
casual viewer,
specific
I'm
intention
very
behind
interested to
how
hear
it's
your opinion
supposed
on
to be
this.
solved. If I place
Because
this
how
spike
well
ball,
this
it is
specifically
done with the
lands opens
exact
up a lot of
intention that you get through this
potential
by
for
performing a
content in the
super jump
future.
and landing in this gap.
I just need to know how
There is no other
dense I
path.
can make it.
There's nothing
It's
to figure
understandable
out,
for me.
and
Yeah,
this
okay,
difficulty was
Croats.
created deliberately.
I'm sure it
An emergent
is. I
setup,
believe
on the other
that.
hand, is one where things are placed with no specific intention, and instead allowing the difficulty
Very
to
casual player, and I
emerge
thought
from
this
the
thing was
chaos
cool. I
that you
understood it.
create.
That is wonderful news.
Emergent
That is
setups like
wonderful
this favor
news.
players who are good at figuring
Okay, let me read some more. I'm casual and it's explained well. It made perfect sense to me, and I'm casual. That is awesome to hear. Because, like, a big thing for me making content is, like, I understand that not very many people really care about UCH, you know? My videos do well more so because it's, like, the idea that such a silly sounding game, Ultimate Chicken Horse, can have a competitive scene, that intrigues people. It makes them curious. But, you know, I want to make as much content as I can. And also, like, when I released the Raito video, people were talking about how the strategy didn't seem all that complex or all that interesting. And I'm so bad at reading comments because it was annoying me. I'm like, all right, I will give you guys some more complex stuff, but I just need to know
things out on the fly.
If this
while
landed well, then
deliberate
I think
setups
there's a
encourage
lot of
players
stuff
to
I could do.
emphasize
I
practicing
think there's a
their
lot.
top-end consistency.
I'm new and I find interesting.
Fundamentally,
Hi, Nokia.
UCH is a game about forcing your opponent to do what you want. If I place this precision...
Oh wait, hold on. Desky, I'm going to start making videos now that the summer is starting. How many words do you have in your script on average, just so I know how many words make up a 10-minute video? It depends. Let me check the most recent video's script. Word count, 1,820 words in this script. I think aim for 2,000 and you'll be good, but if you have big sections where you don't need to be talking, then obviously that changes things.
Do anything. They can go under it, and they can just as easily jump over it.
Oh yeah,
Forcing your
Jujulcher.
opponent to engage with what you've placed is all about restricting them. If
Hey,
I
Dominic,
restrict my
Dominic.
opponent's options and make it
Don't let 'em know.
impossible to go underneath and impossible to jump over, they are forced to do this precision. This area would be considered a deliberate space, because the restrictions make it easy to force your opponent to do something specific. This is where Ferris wheels come in. If I place a Ferris wheel here,
Yeah, I think that could be good,
all of a
Desky.
sudden, the restrictions are gone. With any setup that gets placed in this area, I can attempt it from the ground, from a wall jump off of the Ferris wheel, or from a grounded jump off of the Ferris wheel, and I can do all of these things at any point in the Ferris wheel's cycle. This makes it so that there are so many unique positions, timings, and trajectories that I can achieve that it's nearly impossible for my opponent to force me to do something specific. A single
Right,
Ferris
you're
wheel
not.
transforms
Don't try and
this
schmooze me
entire
into giving you
space
more
from
Ferris wheels. It's not
deliberate
happening.
to emergent. Raito recently destroyed Morphin, the rank 1 player, by placing a Ferris wheel in the only deliberate space in the level. By transforming this to an emergent space, Morphin was forced to play Raito's game, and it was a slaughter. This idea of controlling space rather than placing individual setups is extremely powerful, and Ferris wheels are by far the best item for achieving.
Okay, low key, this set, Raito vs. Morphin in winners finals of the tournament, it wasn't a great set. Like honestly, like watching the set, it wasn't a great, but it's one of my favorite sets of all time. Cause like the day that I watched it, I just felt so confused. Cause at the time, Morphin was so dominant, and obviously, you know, Raito's Raito, but like to be able to beat Morphin in the fashion that he did, it just didn't make sense to me. It didn't feel like it was just Morphin having an off day. To me, I'm like, there has to be something more that I'm not seeing. And you know, maybe I can explore that and broaden my horizons and expand my understanding of the game. But I feel like, you know, after doing analysis and taking time to figure out why things happened the way they worked and why they did, like, so much just started to make sense. Like way back in the day, Selly was incredible at this exact type of thing. Like, if you watch how Selly liked to build, Selly was honestly really a lot about space control. And I think it's something that us, like top players, we've always implicitly understood. It's something that you can see in our building historically. But I don't think it's ever something we explicitly, you know, we didn't have like a concrete understanding of it. But now that I get it, I feel like it's been used a lot more in my strategy. Like if I'm playing against someone like Kreutz, for example, I feel like Kreutz's skill set, it's very clear when you're looking at a map. It's very clear which sections are going to be good for him. It's very clear where the game is going to take place in terms of building. So like getting Ferris wheels and moving blocks and fire hydrants and stuff and just putting them into those spaces is so big. It's a really fun aspect of
But it
UC's
doesn't end
strategy.
there.
I love it.
Ferris
Yo,
wheels
thank you,
benefit
Smiley.
from all of the same
I
things
appreciate
black
that.
holes do. You can create difficulty.
Bro's like 50 favorite sets. That's not true. That's not true. There's Raito vs. Pausia. There's Coldheart vs. Kiata. Oh, what was the set? There's one Variety Bear set that I'm thinking of. Was it Variety Bear versus Nell or was it versus Pausia? Not Irradiant. Not Iridescent. I don't remember. I don't remember the exact one. There was one incredible VB set that I watched. I honestly just generally love watching VB play. He's definitely one of my favorite players to watch. Yeah, it wasn't Terra. And then there's this one. I think this one is not as good as the other ones in terms of the set, but in terms of what I got to experience,
Even though they're
you know,
so big, Ferris wheels can be placed through walls.
I don't know.
so
It's
they
just
can be
really
used
cool that
anywhere on
after
the
all
map.
this time, like there's still
They're
such
also the single
fundamental
hardest
parts
item
of the
in
game
to
that I can still
counterbuild,
learn.
because the
There's
only
so
way
much,
to
so
fully
much
remove
space.
a Ferris wheel is by bombing all 4 platforms.
Really playing. I was surprised about this
The
video because I
second a
really
Ferris
this format
wheel
clear.
shows
It's
up,
been well
the
versed, well
game
paced. Everything made
revolves
sense. We
around
actually
it.
learned a lot, especially about how pros play, which is interesting. I'd appreciate
Since-
more vids on specific strategies you guys use that casual players don't know. Handling black poles was totally new to me. I would enjoy more info about how that's done. I got good news for you. I absolutely am going to be putting out videos that talk more about like high level UCH strategy, because I think it's so interesting how, like, you know, when you're playing UCH as a casual player, it's you know, it's a fun game to play with your friends, but like whether or not you're good mostly it depends on mechanics. And then you get into competitive UCH, you gain a bit of understanding, and like then it becomes a game of I want to place things I'm good at and prevent my opponent from placing things they're good at. But like once you get to the top level, it just changes in such a beautiful way. Cause like, what could I place against Morphin that he cannot do? Nothing. Nothing. There's not a single thing I can place against Morphin that he cannot do. So the strategy becomes something more. There's more to it. You need to understand yourself. You need to understand why you're good at the game. Like with Kreutz, you know, his perception. I feel like ever since he realized that was a strength of his, he's just gotten so good at like always finding the best way of doing things. Or like, I mean, obviously Morphin's building strategy and his ability to play to his confidence. Raito,
Writing this
need I
script,
say more?
something big.
I just think it's really cool that you
The
can be
UCH
good in such
10-year
unique,
anniversary
like
update was
completely
released,
distinct
and with
ways
it
in a game that
came
doesn't
2
feel like it should have that
items.
level of
The first
depth.
item is the dancing platform. Dance while standing on the platform, and it moves. This item has lots of potential, but sadly it can't be used in competitive play. The other item is where things get crazy. It has the potential to be one of the strongest items in the game. This item is the Thwomp. Not only does it cover a large area, but it has a dynamic hitbox and unique behavior. There are countless things you can do with it, and in terms of creating difficult setups, it's already one of the best items in the game. Given that it's so new, it's still yet to be seen just how strong the Thwomp can be. But plenty of new tech has already been discovered, and with enough time, I can see the Thwomp breaking out into the top tier of items. Bang. I use this song for like every intro, I swear, but it's just so good. Despite everything that I've said, do you want to know what the biggest problem of all is? Black holes and Ferris wheels are so damn fun that it doesn't even matter. Even though they're so powerful, nobody really wants to do anything about it because these items allow for some of the most dynamic and creative setups you'll ever see. So yes, these items break the game. But is it a problem? Absolutely not. Yes. Huge shout out to all
Yo
the people
guys,
supporting
shout out the
Thanks to
Patreon
you, I've hired
supporters.
an editor,
You guys
so
are
can expect
goated. I
videos
appreciate
much more
you.
consistently going forward.
I appreciate
If you like what I do and are interested in supporting me, the link is in the description. Thanks for watching.
Playing game's a lot of fun. Yeah, it is fun. Banger video. I'm so happy with this one. Damu, hey man, you cooked. We cooked. We got some really good stuff done. This video's doing pretty well so far. It's like, it's on pace with, or it's ahead of pace of the last video, which is currently sitting at 300k. So if I can get that, you know, if I can get a consistent level of that, that would be incredible. Very incredible. Just Patreon. I did see that. Thank you, Giga. My fucking goat. I miss you, man. Who's that handsome squirrel in the shot? True. Dude, this shot is awesome. This shot is awesome. I love this shot. So damn fun that it doesn't even matter. Even though they're so powerful, nobody really wants to do anything about it because these items allow for goated. Goated. I was way better long ago, but I haven't played for a long time. Hey, there's never a better time to start than today. UCH is so awesome. It is truly one of one. Truly one of one. Can we do Ask Bojack? Yeah, of course. That's what we're going to immediately after this. I feel like I had one more thing I was going to talk about with the video, but I don't remember. Low-key, I'm dead ass. I'm doing this stream to distract myself from the analytics. Because every single time I post a video, the same thing happens. I genuinely become useless for a couple days. Because, like, it's just so addicting. It's so addicting. Seeing the numbers go up, seeing what people have to say, responding to comments, I have a good 2 days every single time where I'm pretty useless. Because I'm just too focused on that. I think I gotta turn Spotify down a bit. I don't love it because I died to the first black hole. Yeah, I'm glad we got the second shot, because in the first shot I was just dying nonstop. Alright, let's go into Ask Bojack. Again, if you want to ask questions, join my Discord server. I've already sent it a couple times. You can scroll up the chat. Where even is it? Here it is. If you could change one thing in UCH, what would it be? Good question. I have many answers to this, and honestly, I'm gonna answer it in a bunch of different, like, I'm gonna answer it in terms of items, characters, maps, and then just some, like, general stuff. Because I think I can't, like, I have so much experience and time put into this game that I don't think I can compress it into just one thing. I think as far as characters go, I think having more characters who, like, have their art match their hitbox. Like, when I'm horse, watch my run animation. See how my body stays kind of still? Same thing when I'm jumping. Like, it's just very consistent. It's easy to tell where I am visually. The same thing, like, watching Turtle. It's so much harder. And the same thing is true of, like, a lot of the newer characters. I just feel like they really got it done, you know, the best with the first few characters. And Robo Bunny, of course. Also, real quick, Code Gamble, don't join my lobby. It's a mid-code. So in terms of characters, that's what I'd change. In terms of levels, I would have more levels like Old Mansion. I think Old Mansion is, like, probably the best default map. Because I think the thing is, when it comes to designing levels in UCH, the fundamental idea is you need to make a level which makes it easy for players to build something good. Because, you know, you're handing off the level design to the players, and players don't know how to create things as well as, you know, actual game developers would. So the best you can do is create a map that makes it easy to make fun and cool things. And I think a lot of the time, for a lot of the levels, I think the devs relied on, like, open pits. Because if you have an open pit, then you can just have players jumping between the things that they place. And that's, like, just an easy, solid, compelling platforming, you know, easy peasy. But, like, Old Mansion is just such a solid map. I don't know, I like that there's choke points, I like that there's stuff to build around. The gimmick is simple, but it's still there, it's present, it matters. Old Mansion is great. Granted, I do think the 2 new maps are awesome. I think they really cooked with those. But, more maps like Old Mansion, a few less gimmicks, and, like, I could genuinely talk for hours about how I would fix each individual level, but we have a lot to talk about, so I'm not going to do that. In terms of just general stuff, fixing LevelNet. Fixing LevelNet is probably, it might even be the #1 most important thing. Because, like, right now, if I click on newest, that's a long load time. And every time I click, I think that the database is just, it might just be structured poorly, or maybe they don't have enough, like, compute for it. I don't know, but LevelNet being so slow turns people off of playing competitive, sorry, not competitive, playing custom levels. And I think custom levels are amazing. They are. They're so good. Beyond that, beyond just, like, fixing the loading time, I think it's too difficult to find good levels. So, like, right now, Feature Friday is, like, a solid workaround for this. You just hand pick, you know, a catered list of good levels, and you can guarantee that randos get to play good levels. But if I go to trending or most played, like, there's some seriously high quality stuff out there. There are so many high quality maps, and they never really gain traction naturally. There isn't, like, a good way for people to find good maps to play. And I think fixing that would really help with the longevity of the game. Because, like, if you look at things like Super Mario Maker or Celeste, people play custom levels, or Geometry Dash, I think all of those have significantly better systems for finding custom levels. On that same note, I think if you want players to have access to good levels, another way to do it is to make it easy for people to make good levels. And I think having more colors, having custom colors is huge for that. Because, like, ever since I got Ozzy's custom color mod, like let me show you some of the levels that I've made. I think I'm cooking, dude. I'm genuinely cooking. Like, I think this is the best map I've ever made, frankly. This map is... I've played it so many times, and every time it's different. There's fun setups. Like, this just looks so much better than anything you could make without custom colors. It is a night and day difference. And, like, same thing, like... right here. Ancient Ruins, I think, again, this is one of my all-time best maps. Or Ancient Quarry. These statues, I don't think I could get these statues with this level of detail and have them looking good with just the default built-in gray colors. And like grass looks better, dirt looks better. I feel like the color selection they went for by default is so limiting. But when you have more colors, it's just... everything looks better. Everything looks better. Big fan of your videos, Bojack. Thank you, Billy the Villainous. Thank you, homie. Thank you. I would remove the jetpack. I would move the jetpack too, but I also see an argument for fixing the jetpack. There are a bunch of ways that you can improve it. Like, for example, you know, the big problem with jetpack is that you can just skip over the entire level. The second a jetpack is on the level, you're no longer playing the same game you were before. You are playing get the jetpack and then, you know, maybe build gameplay around it, but for the most part, you just get to skip over things. Jetpacks would be way better if there was like a meter, you know, where jetpacks could overheat, and if you use them for too long, they explode. I think something like that, it forces you to land back on the ground. I think the explosion is funny in terms of the casual aspect of the game. I just think that would be a much better solution for jetpacks, personally. But, I mean, I still personally would prefer them to not be in the game. Because like I said in the video, right? The game is all about restriction. You can't force people to interact with the things that you build unless you restrict their options that allow them to circumvent interacting with it in the first place. Jetpacks circumvent everything, that is the main problem. I love Chemical Plant. Thank you, Brandon. Yeah, dude, I've been cooking. Oh my god. Okay, let me show you guys another thing. This is not Ask Bojack. It's not Ask Bojack, but there's a few things. Oh, wait, I don't have the mod active. Let me grab a video then. I found some big stuff, man. I found some seriously big stuff. Where is it? Where is it? Am I stupid? Am I just a dumb guy? Okay, I'm just gonna download this clip and open it like this. I was doing a little bit of research, because I think another part of what limits free play so much is that we only have 5,000 points to work with. You know, you can't really build big, beautiful levels. It's hard. You're limited. I was doing some research into the game's code to try and find some ways to optimize custom blocks so that it would lag less, because, you know, if I found something and maybe the devs implemented it, we could raise the cap. This is a level with 10,000 blocks. See this? At the top left, 20 FPS. As soon as I press a button that enables my mod, I'm at 250. So I hope that this is something that they're interested in. I really, really hope, because that would be huge. We'll see. But yeah, I've been cooking that up. I hate not being able to have mods. Yeah, I feel it really sucks for console players. But that's one of the things. The other thing, do I have the mod active right now? I don't. All right, give me 1 second. I made another mod. I've been trying to do this for years, and I finally cracked the code. Yeah, we are deaf there. Wait, this is huge? I'm saying! Alright, this is a map I've been working on, but the problem is I can't do everything I want to do with it because it just has way too many 1x1 blocks. Alright, watch this. What's the key for it? Is it H? It's purely unoptimized right now. Or no, is it N? What key is it? Am I stupid? Confirm key? M? Yeah, there it is. Press of a button, under a second, it optimizes the level completely. As a matter of fact, I'll show you just how good this is. I ran a bunch of tests. I did about 50 levels. And this program out-optimizes humans on 50 out of 50 levels. Most of the time it was by a significant margin, and sometimes, you know, creators were able to get within 5 or 10 blocks, but like right now this is 6,980. 1 second, 5,610. So hopefully having this will make it easier to you know, build levels and keep the limit low so that you can, you know, make more beautiful levels. Cheat panel? Yeah, cheat panel. Okay, wait, let me make sure I'm not ignoring YouTube. Dope video today, Bojo. Thank you, Lexi. I appreciate that. I've only respected UCH, but I love your videos down the nuance and strategy. Pretty new sub. Keep it up. Thank you, homie. I appreciate that. It always feels great when people who aren't like in the competitive sphere of UCH say that they like my stuff. Definitely feels like I'm doing something right. Is it true that UCH used the Steam name that you had when you first played the game for stuff like saying who made a level and stuff like that forever? Yeah, unfortunately, it is like that, which is really bad because there are a lot of people in the community who've been dead named. You know, every time they beat a challenge level, they're dead named because of it, which really sucks. I think it's something that the devs should pay mind to. Yeah. Okay, I don't want Asbojack to take a million years, so we're back to the question. What would I change about UCH? We've talked about levels, characters, miscellaneous. Let's talk about items. If I had to pick the #1 change I would make, it's really tricky. I think I would have less cycles, or I would design the cycles from the ground up in a way where they all share common multiples of each other in terms of their cycle timing. Because, like, I've said it time and time again. You guys who've been in the stream a lot, you already know, but for the newer people, the crossbow and the mortar will line up every time 4 arrows shoot and every time 3 mortars shoot. They have a common, you know, their timing is it lines up. It lines up. But you could do this with every timing. Or, like, same thing, L-Saws and this. They have the same timing. The fact that they have the same timing means you can use them in the same setup without creating cycle stacks. But, like, if I made all of this, right? Some setup where you have to get through all this stuff. How long do you think you would have to wait before everything lines up perfectly? I think it would be a very long time. A very long time. And since there's so many cycle-based items in the game, cycle stacking just happens all the time, and it means a big part of the gameplay loop is just waiting. But if you design the cycles so that they all share common timings, all of a sudden, like, it kind of just works out. It kind of just works out well. Your videos make me want to play UCH. Hey, it's never too late. Time is now. UCH is awesome. If I had to change something else, though, because I don't know if that's my #1. I think another thing is, like, we don't have enough static hazards. We have spike balls, we have wires, but, like, spike balls and wires have to be so common in the rule set, because for the game to work, you do need static hazards. Just things you can place down, and their hitbox acts as something that kills you. You know, nothing fancy about it. I don't think we have enough of them. We have way too many cycle-based items. We have a bunch of trigger-based items, a bunch of, you know, safe items, moving items. We don't have any static hazards. I think if I were going, let me grab the picture for this. Can't leak. If I were gonna do one thing, I'd like to ask Bojack real quick. I would want blocks like this. These blocks would tile. It's basically just a custom block, but it's spiked on the edge. It wouldn't be possible to corner wire jump off it. That's a big thing. And if I placed another one of these blocks on the right side of it, they would tile together so that, like, spikes only appear on edges that are, like, exposed to the air, you know? I think it would make it easy to make really good custom levels, with better gameplay, but in a way that doesn't compromise the aesthetic and doesn't allow for, like, degenerate strategies like corner wire jump spam. I think that'd be awesome. I think it'd be really good, and I hope they do it. I doubt they will, but it would be goated. I think that would be the single best thing you could add to the game, at least for the competitive side. Obviously I would change bees. Bees are so cool, but you can't use them. They just kind of don't work. But this question's gone on for long enough. This is literally the first question. So let's keep going. Let's keep going. How do you intend to hurt all the people that didn't show up to your stream? Yeah, wouldn't you like to know, pal? Wouldn't you like to know? Since you said Ferris wheels and black holes are fun, would you like to increase the odds for them? I'm not gonna do that, Rye. I'm not gonna do that. Absolutely no chance. Granted, I could see black holes being increased. I think now that True Random is on, I think they're a bit less common than I'd like them to be. But I don't know, it's really tough. When designing like the rule set, you can't just pick items with probabilities based on how often you want to see them, because the percent chance that they show up in the box doesn't actually represent the, you know, their rarity of actually being placed in the game. Because if a black hole shows up, it's going to get picked every single time. Almost every single time, because it's strong. Whereas like if a barrel shows up, even if that showed up 10% of the time, maybe it's getting placed 2% of the time, because it's just not a strong item. So finding a way to balance for that is genuinely very hard. Very hard. But I would definitely change the odds for black holes. Ferris wheels, no. No chance. About to watch the new vid. Super excited and absolutely love your work. Thank you, Lucky. I appreciate that, homie. I really do. I really, really do. Oh, wow. Holy moly. Wait, the video's taking off. 1 second, guys. I know I said I was doing this stream to distract me from the analytics, but let me just look for a second. It's doing really well. This might be my... This might reach 1 out of 10 category. Holy moly. Look away from the analytics. You're right. You're right. You're right. How long did it take for you to beat level 9 Fox CPU consistently? I don't know, because I did that when I was a kid. Like, by the time I started playing Melee competitively, I was already pretty easily beat a level 9 CPU consistently. But as a kid, it probably took me a long time, but I just don't really remember. What if you started a UCH podcast? That's not a bad idea. That's actually not a bad idea at all. I could do a podcast with like Morphin and Kreutz, maybe have some guests on. Kiato would be good for that. Could have Ember on, like... I'm gonna do that. I'm actually gonna do that, because we could genuinely just do the same thing. We could just do a similar thing as Ask Bojack, where we get a bunch of questions to talk about. That's a great idea, Giga. Oh my god. Genuinely, guys, don't let me forget about this. I want to do this. I think it would be incredible. How about an episode about commentary? See, I don't know if I could do... That would be hard to do, because, like... There just aren't enough commentators to really talk to and get information about, you know? Those slot podcasts where they talk about nothing. We'd be different, man. We'd be different. What the hell is Bojack Land? This is my Discord server. Do you want in? If you want to participate in Ask Bojack and you want to ask me questions, join this link. Homies, join. Get in. Random question. Is the 59 item count you said in the vid before or after adding Thwomp? I'm pretty sure it's before. I recorded the script. Like, I started this video, I at least got the script and voice recordings done back before Distortion, because that was the video I was originally going to use to advertise Distortion. If the current top 10 disappeared, who would replace them? Alright, let's have a little look. Let's have a little look at the current top 10. Because we know Morphin, Kreutz, Fish, Raito, Pausia, Malena, Nell, Ember, Master, and Soup. I mean, the obvious answer, like, Tornado would be up there. If we're including everybody who's just not currently ranked in the top 10, I think... Like, me and VB absolutely would be up there. Selly would be up there. If we're just counting everyone that like Vito or whatever, but I don't think that. I think keeping it to players who actually play competitively. So it would probably be like some combination of me, VB, Selly at the top. Sinks, but he doesn't play competitively. Tornado and Aimbot absolutely would be up there for sure. I mean, let's have a look at some results, because there's more. Venium's been doing really good lately. Bran would be up there, although he's gonna get ranked next season. Gaming Beast for sure. Evan XO is the most obvious one. I think, low-key, I think there's a very real world where Evan is just the best player of that group. I think at least right now with my current skill, I think Evan is better than I am. He is very, very good. John would for sure be up there. Newt absolutely would be up there. Oh, Shell. Shell as well. Shell's been great recently. Yeah, I think that's a good enough answer. Me and Bojack are taking top 2. Absolutely. This is top 10 from like a year ago? It is. Oh, no, it's not from like a year ago, but it's not currently up to date. Pick a number between 1 and 15, and that'll be the video I start working on for UCH. 12. That's this many, by the way. That's just so you know. Pick that one. Do you think there's a way crumbling blocks could be fixed / changed for actual games? Probably not. Because, okay, here's the problem. When we look at crumbling blocks, right, I think everyone assumes that the problem is host priority, or the fact that once crumbling blocks break, they're gone, so it's kind of hard. Yeah. The real problem with crumbling blocks when it comes to party mode or competitive play is that it's hard to build good things with them. They work in casual play, because the whole idea is, like, it's, you know, you're just doing basic platforming. You're not good enough at the game that basic platforming, just jumping between 2 blocks, isn't difficult enough to be fun. So in you know, if you're playing rooftops, you can just place a crumbling block in the middle there, and it's fine, it works. In competitive play, like, in order for an item to really work, it needs to be, you know, easy to make something good and difficult and creative with. Otherwise, it just doesn't fit. Crumbling blocks are great in challenge mode. There's a bunch of creative stuff that you can do, but thinking about the incentive structure of what people build in tournaments and why they build it, I don't think crumbling blocks just ever fit into that. Unless both people are just agreeing to play cool, I don't see how you get cool crumbling block setups in party, you know, tournament play. What about making a list of possible but uncleared custom levels? That low-key already exists. And I mean, there's one notably that is not cleared, but is going to get cleared soon. Okay, this is the wrong list. Where's Lexi's list? Right here. At the upper end, there's a lot of possible but uncleared levels. Top 2 are PH5 and Real Hell. PH5 is going down soon, though. Its time is ticking, and I'm so excited for it. I genuinely am really excited to see it. One is grinding and definitely deserves to be the one to do it. But yeah. I could do a video about that, but it would be harder. I think it would be a harder video to make. At least to make well. Bojack, does your editor have the UCH video editor thing? Yeah, I sent it to him. I also sent it to Renf. Renf is getting back into making content, which is so exciting. I hope there's a more, you know, established UCH content ecosystem. So having Renf back will be awesome. We need new ranking, Bojack, please. It's happening, it's happening. Bojack, are you not top 10 anymore? This is news to me. I'm not top 10 because I didn't participate in enough tournaments to be ranked. In terms of skill, I'm definitely still top 5. No doubt in my mind. How would the new ranked rule sets work? Or new ranked resets? Rule sets or resets? Because resets, that would be a question for Ivory, because I'm not the one in charge of that. How do you get your level into the uncleared section on the list? You get it has to be like an iconic map. That's kind of just how it works. Because ranking difficulty of a map before you've actually put in the time to beat it is really, really, really difficult, and it's inaccurate, and I don't like the idea of having an inaccurate list when it comes to challenge levels. Or at least, you know, it's going to be inaccurate because it's impossible to quantify difficulty, but I want it to be as accurate as we reasonably can have it. So the only way uncleared levels get on is, for the most part, just if it's an iconic level. It's like PH5A, it can be on there because its difficulty is more known. Like, when I designed PH5, I spent probably 50 to 80 hours on it, and most of that was just practicing the setups, just trying to see what the top end consistency looks like, and trying to make sure that there's no RNG, no unfair choke points. I wanted to make a level that's as difficult as possible, but still consistent and enjoyable to play. So because that, kind of care and consideration went into it, I think it's reasonable to put it up there. Real Hell obviously gets up there because, it was just a big thing. It was a cool thing in the community. It's well known. Same with Astrovinyl 2. It's a sequel to an existing top-level challenge map. Crimson Drake, same thing. Tierbound probably shouldn't be on there. But how do you get new completed maps on the list? Message me or Lexi or Milena. Low-key, there is a better list. There is a better list, though. This is Milena's list, and I think I agree with this one more. And I'm not just saying that. Hey, I'm not just saying that because Proving Ground is number 3. I'm not just saying that to boost myself, because I do think outside of that, it's a very accurate and good list. But yeah. Here's some questions for you to laugh that I thought about over time. Could you draw a graph the competitive server's all-time skill perspective time? Yeah, absolutely. Why not? I love drawing graphs. Whoa, what the? Hold on. Okay, hold on. Look at the analytics again. This video is popping off. God damn. Damo, you have access to the analytics. Go have a look at that. That's insane. That's insanity. GIMP? Yeah, I use GIMP. What about it, pal? Alright, UCH skill all time. Alright, this will be skill. This will be time. Let's start at 2017. All right. 2017, the skill was kind of in the gutter. Don't get me wrong, the players back then still had some stuff. But, competitive UCH wasn't really established. We didn't understand as much as we did. And notably, there is the absence of one man. Coldheart. This right here is when Coldheart started playing. I cannot overstate how far he pushed the game for its time. Anyone who was there when it happened understands. Coldheart, huge. And then I think it stagnated for a while because he didn't really have competition. And then, bam. This right here is the Kiata line. Kiata comes along. Having real competition, I think, pushed a lot of people further. And Kiata made the game a lot better. 2020, I think it kind of... you know what? I actually think 2020 it stagnated. Because this is around the time where I rose to the top level. And I think a big part of why I got there as quickly as I did is because Coldheart and Kiata were not competing nearly as much. And when that happened, the scene was kind of going down. It still started rising a bit. It was pretty linear. 2022, there's branching paths here. Because if we're talking about the skill of the community as a whole, I genuinely think it went down. When me, Kiata, and Coldheart retired, no disrespect to Palestine or Ramon, because they were amazing players, and they, towards the end of their dominance, they definitely got a lot better, and probably did surpass the old players, but, there was a very big gap from all the top players leaving. Now, granted, there's two ways you can view this, because if we're talking about Bidu joining, then the skill goes way up. So let's have an alternate reality here. This will be the Bidu line. He can be yellow. Okay. Then over time it raised. 2023, I think 2024, still raising a bit. This right here is the line for Ignition. Ignition happened. Ignition, Raito video, all that kind of stuff. The community got so much better. Because, I don't know. Okay, here's one thing. Here's one thing I'll say. A lot of the time, people, I think, discount Coldheart's legacy because they view it as like he was competing in a much weaker era. But I think just looking at how strong people are today gives the wrong picture. Because yes, the average skill of the community has grown quite a bit, but because of the, explosive growth of the community, there hasn't been enough time for the new players to catch up. There's a reason all of the top players currently are people who are at the top back here. Because we had time to get good before, and it's gonna take a while for the community to catch up to that. So I think, like, yes, the current era is stronger, but it's not like... It's not disproportionately weak to the extent that people say. You know what I mean? And okay, if I'm saying... I don't think... I think... How do I do the Bidoof? We'll do this. That's the Bidoof line. I think this is, like, the growth. Because I do think we're at the top level of play. We're past, the peaks of Prime Bidoof. For sure. But... he really was an incredible player. Cannot overstate. I mean, did Coldheart even practice? I feel like he just hopped in game in one day. You show him something in Corn Vault and a day later, bro is casually hitting in game. Yeah, his ability to learn was ridiculous. Like, it wasn't possible to gain a long-term advantage over him, because, like, he learned everything right away. That being said, he did practice in a sense, because he played a ridiculous amount of challenge mode. Like, a crazy amount. Coldheart, no question, like absolutely no question in my mind, has the most challenge maps completed of any player ever, and I think it's by more than 2 or 3 times. Literally every map that Cobb posted, he beat. So, like, he got practice in that sense. I would say it started in 2024, but alright, Bojo? This is 2024. This is the end of 2024. I think the explosion in skill happened with Ignition. Because, like, I think the reason the top end got so much better is because Morphin was that guy. Before Ignition, Morphin was good. He was a top player, but he wasn't that guy. I think once Ignition happened and he really started to push the level, all the other top players had to push to stay with him. Typically, people at the top level, they get better when they're pushed. There's a reason, like, things stagnate here. It's because, Kiara and Coldheart weren't pushing me, and I wasn't pushing them because they weren't playing. Ignition was a very fitting name. It's kind of crazy that, like, Ignition basically started my whole life as it is now. Because, like, obviously, I was still working on the competitive community long before this, and I'd put a crazy amount of time in, done a bunch of stuff, but, like, not to the degree that I am now. I think things really changed. I think the UCH community can be split into before Ignition and after Ignition, because it really did just change everything. Throw back to the time me and Bojack became UCH goats. That was good times. Good times. And then there's Distortion, that became the biggest tournament in UCH history. That's true. Biggest tournament so far. We will absolutely surpass it. Who will you be in 10 years? I don't know. I don't know. I think the joy is not having a plan for who I'm going to be. The joy of life is discovering who I'm going to be. I'm a very different person now than I was 5 years ago. And 5 years ago I was a very different person than I was 5 years before that. And I don't think you could have asked any iteration of Bojack what he was going to be like and get an answer with any semblance of accuracy. I hope that I'm a kind person. That's my answer. What's your biggest flex / accomplishment? That's a tough one. Probably a 2 million view video on YouTube is pretty big. I think in terms of what I'm proud of the most, it is easily what I've done for the community. I think that's literally my life's work. Obviously, I'm proud about the Raito video. I think I did a great job. I like that I'm good at what I do. But I think that pales in comparison about how I feel about the growth of the UCH community. Just community in general is just such an important thing to me. The fact that, and I'm not going to take all the credit here. Absolutely not. No doubt other people, put their blood, sweat, and tears into this too. But the fact that so many people have something that they can do every day and have friends within the community and people that they can talk to on a consistent basis, and that I had a huge part in that happening is just, it's really meaningful to me, It really is. Probably, I don't know. If we're talking about what I feel most proud of, that's it. If we're talking about the most impressive thing I've done, it's either the 2 million view video on YouTube, or being top 5 ranked in Canada for the 800 meter back in high school. So I think on an objective level, most people would probably be more impressed by that. But that was so long ago that I don't really feel all that much pride in it anymore. It really was mostly just genetics. Your gym era is also flex? A little bit, but I wasn't like anything crazy. Bojack, is content creation your main job/income? Yes, yes it is. It is. How much better would UCH be if slipping corners wasn't a thing? I don't think corners are all that bad. Truthfully, I think most of the time when people say, like when people blame something on corners, it's almost always their fault. You know, like if you played better, you wouldn't get it. The one thing I will say is that some wall bugs on squeezes are awful. That much I will admit. Those are like basically unavoidable a lot of the time. But for the most part, yeah, UCH wouldn't be that much better. Please explain wall boost / bugs in as much depth as you possibly can. Honestly, I don't want to get into a technical explanation about wall boost right now. It's basically just the same thing as a corner boost, though. You're insanely smart and rich, but you twerk uncontrollably whenever you're mad, sad, or excited. No, I wouldn't press that button. That would be awful. Why would I do that? Is it possible for me to make entertaining UCH videos without a microphone or camera? Absolutely. Yes, it is. At the end of the day, it's all about identifying what people want to see. There is content out there that is made with no mic and no camera. A great example. Let me find it. This channel. I really like this channel. Wand of Sparking. All they do, they put text, they just play Terraria, they put text over top of it. They never talk, but like they have goals and they explain it as they go, and like it's really good. It's really good. I gave this channel to Damu as an example for some videos he was trying to make without, you know, audio. Okay, where's the text? There we go. Like, it's just so simple, but this is a 300k subscriber channel. It has multiple, you know, greater than 1 million view videos. Like, you absolutely can do it. It's just about identifying what people want, and if you want to do that, you just need to find similar content in different niches. Find what people have done that works, and then see how can I make this happen in UCH. That's all it is. A train is going to kill one person. You can choose to divert the track and destroy UCH. What would you do? I'm not even joking. I wouldn't divert the track. Because, like, okay, here's the thing. I don't know, it's impossible to talk about morals. It's impossible to talk about morals like this. But I think you can't, like, really assign a value to human life. But, like, there is also value in, you know, the feelings of many. I think if every person in the world stubbed their toe at the same time, that would be worse overall than one person dying, you know? I think UCH brings a lot of people a lot of joy. And maybe I'm being selfish here. I'm definitely being selfish here. If I had to kill the person directly, then I don't think I would. I don't think I could. But I'd be really sad about this. Holy ball knowledge. I love this channel. That man is dying. Who's dying? Are you talking about Wand of Sparking? Because his channel is definitely not doing as well as it used to. I think he's kind of running out of content, but still. Are you following the World Cup? I am not. It's weird. Canada's a host nation, but like so few people I talk to care about it. What's the coolest thing you've ever done? I can factually say that I've won a race against an Olympic athlete in their, you know, category, you know, their distance. Because in my track club, there was a guy who was always the butt of our jokes because he was really slow. But things worked out for him. He grinded really hard, and he's, you know, the best distance runner in Canada now. He's, you know, world class. It's kind of insane. Bojack is such a cornball, can't even go into this shit. What do you mean by that? No. Shame. So these are inside thoughts, man. These are inside thoughts. How do you test such specific details about how to do a setup? For example, recently you're saying the best method for a spike ball super jump is to let go and repress spike sprint. The answer is that I kind of just know. I've played the game enough and I understand so much about it that I can just infer how things work from everything else. It's like I can give you an example with a super jump. In general, with setups, like your goal is to get the most leniency with the least complexity in inputs. Because you can't align the timing of time in the real world with the frame rate of the game and the input polling. It's just not possible. So every input you add to a sequence increases the chance that you get it, you don't get it correctly. That's completely unavoidable. So like with spike ball super jumps, the most simple way to do it is just letting go of sprint. Like this is the most free input ever. Genuinely so free. If I press out, one way to think about this, if I press out as part of my input, then for every frame that I move away from the wall, what if I tap it one extra frame? Well, then I move one frame further, which means I have 2 frames that I have to come back. So any time, genuinely any time you need to change directions in a setup, that's something worth thinking about. The same concept applies to one-way doors. The best methods for doing these are either the jump buffer methods or you run and then you crouch like that. Back in the day, I mean, people still do it like this. They just go back and then they time it manually. That is categorically worse. Because if I'm moving backwards, for every single frame that I move to the left, that's an additional frame that I have to move to the right to get back there. So the leniency that I have in terms of the number of frames where I can stand on that wall is cut in half. It is really bad. This applies to everything. It's just a generally useful idea. With spike balls specifically, I think the way I come up with this is just simple. Because if you do a super jump like I'm doing now with you're just doing a sprint jump and you're doing nothing else, the only thing that's keeping you from surviving is that you move towards the spike ball too quickly. So you just let go of sprint. Beyond that, I just test things, get a sense for what feels good, and like, the other argument for it too is the inertia, the aerial inertia modifier. Anytime I jump on a wall and I'm holding the direction of that wall, I accelerate faster back towards it than I do otherwise. Like if I do an outwards jump and then I press left on the first frame, do you see how far out I go on a sprint jump? That's what sprint jumping used to be like back before the Hippo update, because before the Hippo update, there was no aerial inertia modifier. They noticed that newer players were having too much of a difficult time climbing walls, so they added the inertia modifier to make it easier. So, with stuff like this, if I press out, I lose the aerial inertia modifier, which means I don't accelerate as fast back towards the wall. So losing that's really bad. I feel good about just walking up slightly and eyeballing it. Yeah, to be honest, it's a lenient enough setup that it doesn't matter. You can just do whatever. I think the crouch is, mathematically it is optimal, but it's so lenient that like you can reach like 100% consistency either way, so who really cares? But yeah, beyond that, Oopie, like another thing is I use Unity Explorer to test for polling. Honestly, it's really hard to explain my methods. I don't want to bog down the stream, so I won't. But I can disable or enable certain physics things. I can set my position manually, all that kind of stuff, and that comes in handy. All right, hey there, good morning. I'm a new player, and I have quite some questions. I already checked some videos, wiki, and also Discord messages, but wasn't able to find the information I was looking for. There's a lot of questions I have here, so I'll put them in a list. How many Coyote frames does UCH have? Does it depend on something? Acceleration, velocity, block. There are 5 frames of Coyote time in UCH. If you asked me this about a year ago when I had recently labbed it, I would have a better answer for you. I think it doesn't actually depend on anything. I think it's always 5 frames no matter what. It feels like you have less Coyote time when you're moving slow, but that's just because visually you're just moving less far off the block. You have less time, you're in the air, it feels like, but it is still 5 frames regardless of your speed. You can remove Coyote time. If you jump and you hold jump, you'll fall faster because you're Coyote canceling. Then you have 0 frames. How many buffer frames do I get before hitting the ground to jump again. You get 20. This is true for wall jump and grounded jump. How does the super jump on the wall works, and how precise in frames is it? How precise it is in terms of frames is a difficult question to answer because it's kind of a spectrum depending on when you do your inputs, where you are, like it depends on a lot of things. But the way it works is that all acceleration in this game is additive. A lot of other games, they have additive momentum. So like if you go really fast in one way and you add more momentum to it, it stacks the momentum. That's not really the case in UCH. UCH stacks acceleration. So if I'm accelerating in one direction in 2 different ways, I move faster in that direction. The easiest example of this is a boost jump. Can I please, bro? So if I jump while I'm getting pushed by the tire, I accelerate upwards from jumping, and I accelerate upwards from the tire pushing me, so I go higher. The same thing is true of corner boost. You know, the game nudges me onto the ledge by giving me a slight upwards acceleration. If I jump on the same frame, I get an extra block of jump height. Super jumps work because of something called a hover jump. If I jump and then I let go of jump and then I press jump again quickly, I suspend my acceleration for like as much as 3 frames, depending on when you do the suspension, and I can gain the acceleration back. But by doing that, I'm letting go of jump and I'm pressing it again. That buffers a wall jump, but it also reinstates my upwards acceleration. So I can mix the acceleration of my grounded jump with the acceleration of my wall jump. That's why super jumps work. That's why super jumps that are lower to the ground or that are only released for 1 frame give you higher super jumps. That's the same reason why the Bidoof jump works. Because like this... Oh, fuck. There we go. I'm just mixing a coyote jump with a wall jump. That's the whole idea with super jumps. It is between 1 and 3 frames of leniency with respect to like how long you release jump for, but 3 frame is almost never enough to get over a spike ball. It does depend on polling and when in the jump you did it, because the later you do in the jump, the less acceleration you get after the hover. If you want to do a super jump, you should be aiming for 1.5 frames. 1 frame is optimal, but if you only do 1 frame, you're going to get a lot of times where you just don't really get a frame where you actually release it. So go for halfway between. 1 and 2 both work for almost all super jumps. Can you explain how acceleration works and how does it interact with ice on the floor or on the wall? Ice on the wall does nothing. Ice on the floor, I don't have like a specific technical answer for you. Acceleration, velocity, crouched. AVS, you don't need to be crouched. If I'm holding both directions, I still build up AVS even though I'm not crouched. So I jump and then I just let go of the direction I don't want to move in, and then I accelerate faster in the other one. Non-sprint turnaround. Non-sprint turnaround works. I hope all the competitive players here aren't bored me just answering, you know, technical questions, but when I let go of sprint, see how I instantly decelerate? Instantly. I go down, as soon as I let go of sprint, the first frame, I am down to the maximum walking speed instead of the maximum sprinting speed. Decelerating is the same thing as accelerating in the opposite direction. So if I want to turn around fast, that's accelerating in the opposite direction. And if I want to accelerate in the opposite direction as fast as possible, well, instant acceleration in the opposite direction is really fast. So I let go of sprint and then I sprint in the opposite direction. So it's hopefully that makes sense. Hopefully that makes sense. What do you feel is a nice progression for someone that is willing to learn and already has a good amount of experience in platform game, learning text, recommended maps, and joining a group of people maybe? The main thing, join the competitive UCH Discord, join amateur tournaments, join the UCH Academy and look into the Terry's guides. It's pretty outdated, but we'll hopefully have a better system in place soon. Beyond that, like, only spend as much time practicing tech as you enjoy. If you don't enjoy your practice, you aren't engaged. And if you're not engaged, you're not practicing as effectively. I think I was able to get as good as I am because I enjoy the process of practicing in UCH. It's fun for me. And I also practice in ways that are fun, like challenge mode or like doing specific things at free play. But yeah, practicing tech is really important. Practicing fundamental skill is also really important. I wouldn't focus on building strategy until you're at least advanced level. But fundamental platforming skills is really important. I'd say lock in on NST, get as good as you possibly can at precision because it's just the most fundamental skill in the game. Started 67 minutes ago. Yeah. Here are my questions about 7. What I'm personally doing is learning a bit and just playing and having fun. That is good, but I would love to learn more if possible. A session with Viper was the most fun I had in this game when they were telling me about text and explaining stuff. It was really cool, kind, fun, and nice. The beautiful thing about the UCH community is that everyone is kind and they're willing to help. If you genuinely just ask, is anybody willing to teach me? Someone will. Someone will. Honestly, if I see someone saying, is someone willing to teach me this? If I don't have anything to do, I'm down. I usually will respond yes. Probably don't DM me that directly because I just have so many people ask me that it becomes tough, and I hate having to say no to so many people. But if you ask in like the servers, a lot of time you'll get a response. My enjoyment in a lot of games comes from understanding how it works, learning about it, and also trying to execute it. I'm not doing this because I want to rush to get better. It's simply how... That's good. That's good. If that's what you enjoy in games, then I think UCH is a great game for you. Because, like, there's just so many interactions and combinations of items, so many things you can do. The physics are so in-depth that, like, there isn't an end to that process of learning and growing your understanding for the game. I've been playing for 8 years. I have 5,250 hours. I have not even scratched the surface of what there is to know and understand in this game. It is perfect. Truly. Perfect for your purposes, Fox. What is your favorite UCH tech for every item? That would take too long to answer, I think, so I'm just going to go with a few of my favorite techs. Cannon baiting is the coolest thing in the game. Cannon baiting is the coolest thing in the game. I really like cannon baiting. It is so goated and awesome. Stuff like this. It's just so cool. Anytime you place a cannon and then you can just build things around the cannon bait. You can build the path that you need to take. It's a really easy way to make unique, interesting, and fun and fast-paced gameplay. It's just, it is the best tech. The best tech in the game. No question in my mind. What other specific tech do I really like, though? I really like R-Spike jumps. Noob versus pro and ultimate chicken horse. Those who know. Let me do it like this. You know what? Let me do it like this. Actually, let me do it. Yeah. Let me do it like this. Oh, I missed it. The fact that you can stand on the R-Spike as it turns and do stuff. I still remember the game where I first discovered it. I was playing with Kiara and Wishark on my old Valentine's Day map in like 2019. And I've loved it ever since. It's a great tech. Great tech. Project, why are we lying? Also check everything. Okay!
We removed them from the tournament rule set altogether. Some items are weakened items. Some items are so powerful almost every time they show up.
I mean, hell, good job, Flau. I'm impressed. What did you do to recreate it?
Almost every...
That is impressive, though. Give me new hobbies I can try out. Rock climbing? I don't know. How do I upload my... I don't know. Reading. You should read. You should read. Every single person should read. And if you're not reading, you're genuinely trolling. And you are robbing yourself of the opportunity to be a much better, overall, well-rounded person throughout your whole life. The difference in intelligence and general understanding and their grasp of language between people who do read and people who don't is staggering. If you're young, you should be reading. I know maybe it sucks or feels boring, but try. Find something that you enjoy to read. Cannot overstate. It's the single best hobby you can have. I think it is genuinely better than like basic exercise. That's how good I think it is for you. Read. How do I upload my level to LevelNet 2.0? Very simple, my friend. Let me show you. Go into your level. Either do this right after you post the level, or you can go here once you're in level, press escape, loaded level, click the Imgur button, and then on your computer, an Imgur link will pop up. All you gotta do, copy the Imgur link, come into here, go to level sharing, post level, put in the Imgur link, put in any necessary details, and then you click submit, and it does everything for you. The bot will go into the Imgur link, it'll grab the title, it'll grab the code, it'll put the image into the post, it'll put your image map into the database, all of the above. The whole 9 yards. If you had 1 year prep time, would you beat 2027 Bojack in a best of 3 UCH match? What the hell does that mean? 1 year of prep time. That's literally June 2027 Bojack. If you're, okay, if you're saying I have prep time and I know that the match is coming up, obviously I would crush 2027 Bojack because he doesn't know. He's just getting better naturally, whereas I'd be getting better with intention. For sure, I would destroy him. I think if you gave 2021 Bojack 1 year of prep time, he probably would beat me with 1 year of prep time, though. Realistically. Why is the dance platform not viable? It's not viable because you can just use it to trigger gate. You know, if I get to the dance platform first, I could just go on it and dance and take it away from my opponents so that they can't get onto it and then just stall there forever. Which is bad, by the way. That's bad for the game, especially with host priority. Why did you change your name to Bojack from MLG Robo Jesus? Okay, wait. Let me read some YouTube comments because I don't want to miss them. I hate feeling like I'm ignoring people. Is there an update for UCH? There was about a month ago, and it is awesome. Very good. It is also delayed for non-host. Yeah. It's also not fun to wait in line and party. Yeah, absolutely. All of the above. All of the above. I changed my name to Bojack from MLG Robo Jesus because I'm a big believer that there is a direct correlation with the quality of your gamer tag and how likely it is that you become good. I'm being so genuine. If we go, if we look up SSBM top 100, let's go like 2016, right? Look at the names of the top players. Armada. That's like an all-time goated tag. Hungrybox, Amazing, Mango, Mewtwo, Leffen, Plup, SFAT, Westfall. These are all tags that a top player would have. If we instead go to Melee Online and we look in missed connections and just look, anyone with a yellow name is a community member, so they're not like a high-level player. Sangrich, OG Milkbone, Skiz, Avery, Afroduck, like these aren't... You see the gap? Like, there's a very real gap. And the same thing is true of UCH, by the way. The same thing is very true of UCH. Kiata, Coldheart, Bojack, Morphin, Raito. These are awesome names, dude. I don't know what to tell you. If my opponent sees that they have me as their next match in bracket, I want them to feel fear. And Bojack does that. Beyond that, MLG Robo Jesus isn't a great name, especially in terms of like branding and stuff. And like, I really like Bojack Horseman. And originally I played Raccoon when I was MLG Robo Jesus, and then I learned that I loved Horse. He's my favorite character. I love Bojack Horseman, so it just kind of made sense, you know? I'm Bojack. Honestly, I love the tag. I associate my tag with my identity as much as I do my real name. I am as much, if not more, Bojack than I am Greg. Genuinely. How do you think a good way to make a good long map pack that feels coherent, doesn't get repetitive? Also for longer map pack, how should the difficulty be paced, since I don't know if it's more suitable for a much higher peak relative to its trough? Yeah, you gotta be careful about pacing the difficulty because you can't pace it relative to the difficulty curve of competitive players. You need to think about it in terms of like actual, you know, standard game design. If you look at the end of Celeste compared to the start of Celeste, it is harder. It's not that much harder. You're still playing on the same plane of existence, it's just you're playing at the upper end instead of the lower end. But with UCH, when people, you know, increase in difficulty, you can't look at it like, oh, PH1, PH2, PH3, PH4, PH5. PH5 is harder than 10 trillion PH1s, you know? Is there an item in game that if not in the game before you joined, would have caused you to not play? Yeah, I think if I genuinely think if jetpacks existed when I first bought the game, I don't think I would be here playing it today. I'm so genuine, yeah. Not really related to the game, that's fine. Ask any questions you want. You're gonna ask personal questions, I will answer them. I love talking. But are you gonna do anything for Pride? I've gone to like Pride parades before with friends. This year my schedule doesn't line up nicely, but I think there is like a Pride party I'm going to that a friend is hosting. What is your favorite text emote? Oh, this one. It's this one for sure. Semicolon underscore semicolon. It's gas. Bro. Beautiful. What was your most favorite map when you first played the game? Waterfall. I loved Waterfall back in the day. Pause, I'm not answering this. What is your favorite top 10 difficulty UCH level? Proving Ground. I love Proving Ground. I mean, I made it because I like it. Okay, wait. Let me think about it harder. Because I can give you a better answer. I hate to feel your addiction, but the graph is fucking insane for analytics. Okay, let's have a look. Oh, what do you mean? Oh my goodness. Damn, this is like my best performing video by like a good amount. Holy. That is insane. That is insane. Hey, Dominic, listen, man, you might be getting a nice and healthy paycheck. Holy. Yeah, okay, wait. Challenge. I really like Eternal Sunset. I think the name's cool. I like Proving Ground. Yeah, honestly, that's just it. I'm not a huge fan of a lot of the other challenge maps. I just have a very specific style of game that I like to play. And I think a lot of top-end challenge completions don't fit into that. Do you think AI rots your brain, or can you use it to legit learn things? You can absolutely use it to learn things, but you need to be disciplined in how you use it. If you use AI to replace the act of thinking, you're fucking yourself over. Like, if you're using it to get through school, lock in. Because at the end of the day, the point of school isn't to get good grades. And it isn't even to learn specifically the things that they're teaching you. The biggest thing that school does for you is that it teaches you how to learn. It increases your general intelligence. That's why I've always hated in high school there were always those kids who were like, man, why are we learning all of this? We're never going to use this in the real world. I don't get it. This is stupid. The whole point is just, improving your capacity to learn and understand things in the general sense, because that is what is useful in the real world. None of, specific knowledge doesn't really matter all that much, because almost every job you ever work, you will learn from doing the job. You don't. That being said, you can use AI to learn things, absolutely. Absolutely. I use it frequently. Like one thing that annoyed me for a really long time, or I didn't like it about myself, is that I struggled to read like more dense scientific literature. If you gave me a scientific study, I couldn't read it. Or if you gave me like there's this book that my friend gifted me years ago called Content and Consciousness, and it is a very, very dense philosophical book about the idea of like if the mind is a physical thing or if it is, something else entirely. It is so dense and so complicated and so hard to understand, and no matter how many times I tried to read it, I couldn't really get through it. But with AI, what I started to do is I would just read it, and anytime I didn't understand, a word that was used, or a phrasing, or what the author was trying to imply, or what the argument they were making was, I just threw it in there and asked what they what they meant. And at the end of the reading session, I would ask it to give me a quiz based on the things we talked about. That way, I'm reinforcing my learning by recalling information, actively recalling information. It has made a big difference. Cannot overstate. This kind of learning is like really good. I think if you're smart about it and you're intentional and you're consistent and you're disciplined, you can seriously improve yourself with AI. As many problems as there are, ethically or environmentally with AI, I do think there's a lot of benefit. I mean, hell, for me specifically, I sucked at video editing. I sucked at graphic design. I sucked at so many things. I sucked at programming. If you look at what I put out 5 years ago, these thumbnails sucked. These videos weren't good. The ideas behind them just didn't make sense. And the editing was terrible. I used AI to learn how to edit. Anytime, because in my mind, when I'm making a video, I can picture the shot that I want to create. but I just don't know how to, I don't know what the steps I need to take are to make it, to bring it into fruition. But I can just describe the shot in detail to AI, and it can, run me through the process so that I can learn. And now I just do them without needing to ask at all. I just understand it. Genuinely, I think without AI, my channel wouldn't have blown up. It wouldn't be anywhere near what it is now. And the same thing goes for programming. If you look at the output of what I've created, I've learned considerably over the last 5 years, and it's not, from generating code through AI, it's through using it as a continuous learning process. It's very useful, very useful. I definitely understand, don't get me wrong, I 100% understand all the problems people have with AI, especially when it comes to, generating art. I think art is an intrinsically human thing, and the idea that you could take that away from humans is nonsense. I also think having jobs for artists in society is an important and very valuable thing, and if AI replaces art jobs, it is a net negative on society, big time. But I do think AI is here to stay, and there are a lot of useful uses for it, and you should learn how to use it and how to actually learn instead of rotting your brain. Sorry to go off on a crazy tangent. I know a lot of people don't care to hear about AI or don't like it, but I do think it's useful. One sec. What kinds of UCH content niches do you think there are? Okay, this is an interesting question because right now there aren't a lot of niches. At least if we're talking about niches that are available for growing to a successful level, you can make a career out of it or have a large channel. I think the niches are very small. But, the entire reason, when I post videos so infrequently, like a year ago, 3 months ago today, the reason I post videos infrequently isn't because I'm lazy or is because I'm not locked in. It's because I have a plan, I want to do this for my life. I want this to be what I do for the foreseeable future because I love it and it's great. But there's only so much content that I can make before the well runs dry or before people get bored. So if I want to do this in the long term, I can't just make videos and hope for the best. I need to grow the community to be large enough that there are enough people that care about UCH on a deeper level where I can make a broader, reach of content. So like if I wanted to do like the type of content that most streamers do, right? Like maybe they have a stream where they set a challenge for themselves in the game and then they have some amount of time to do it or whatever, and then they make edited content out of that on YouTube. I used to do that. It doesn't really work because there just isn't a big enough niche for people to care about that yet. But if I grow UCH to the point where, there's a bigger audience, then this kind of thing could work, and that's sustainable for a long period of time. So that's the whole reason. Like with UCH, I've been focusing so much on the community and growing it as much as I can and setting up the necessary systems in place to increase new player retention so that when I do make videos, it does grow the community. That's the whole goal with everything that I'm doing, and that's why I didn't want to use my videos up early. That's why I didn't want to use my best video ideas until the time was right. The time's right now. It's good. We're ready. That being said, I mean, there's more niches you could go for. You don't need to necessarily do like documentary style stuff. You could do challenge type of content. You could do like I like Pigmaster's UCH news. You could definitely stream and make highlights off of that stream. As long as you have the personality for it, absolutely. When do you think there will be a balanced rule set with true random? That depends on whether or not something happens in the next week or so. So I'll have an answer for that. We'll know. How to lure people into UCH? I think I've said it enough times. I don't want to answer this too much. But you just have to look at the marketing funnel. This is such an important idea. If we want to get people into the UCH community, we need, first of all, how do people discover UCH? Or competitive UCH? If somebody discovers competitive UCH, how do we make it appealing to them to the point where they would consider joining? If they consider joining, how do we convert them? Is it easy enough for them to get started? So right now, we have amateur tournaments and stuff, and we have the Terry's guides that people can get into it, but I think that's not enough. I think that the conversion side of things needs to be improved. And then once we get people in, how do we get them to stay? And that comes down to balancing the rule set and the rules and everything in the game in a way that makes it fun to play at a competitive level. and we host regular tournaments. Tournaments with cash prizes goes a really long way for that. So you just need to think about it in terms of all layers of the marketing funnel. Look at what is happening right now and say, what are we missing? What could we be doing better? On which layer, and how do we target that? Do you think you could go into a USR public lobby and win the first game you play? Probably not. I don't. If I was playing against people who have more hours, like I just haven't played much, so I don't know. Are you Bojack because of UCH, or UCH because you're Bojack? I'm definitely Bojack because I'm of UCH. I'm the horse guy. That's me, Bojack. Will you ever go for PH5? No promises. No promises. I think realistically, I don't know. I don't love going for really difficult levels that have already been beaten by someone else unless they're really fun. Because, like, the big part of my motivation for grinding challenge maps is it's cool being the first one to clear something. Like, I'm very proud of the fact that, you know, the third hardest map right now was cleared by me. I'm proud of that. I think if someone else had cleared it first, it wouldn't feel the same for me. That being said, PH5 is you know, it is a big enough map. I would maybe do it, but a grind like that is really time consuming, and I just don't know if I'm ever going to have the time to grind challenge mode like I used to, unfortunately. Same thing, I mean, I will go for PH1 record. I want to be the first person to get sub 16. I will go for it at some point, but PH5, harder to say. I'm not a doctor, I don't know. If there was an honorable mention section for the top 15, would I be part of it? Yeah, Ozzy, I'm not joking. You are literally the runner-up. For the rankings that have already concluded, it was 15 people, you were 16. You were the one other person in contention for the 15th spot. I don't know. I'm new to competitive, and I'm wondering why are certain blocks banned. I got you, homie. I got you. The whole idea, and this might need to be changed. This might need to be changed now that we have true random in the rule set. But the whole idea is that the game doesn't just randomly select blocks based on the probability that you give it. It has some other things that it does. So first of all, it checks to see if the map is difficult. If people are dying too much, it's more likely to give you bombs or non-hazardous blocks so that you can make the map easier. If the map is too easy, it's more likely to give you more difficult blocks based on their difficulty rating. So Black Hole has a really high difficulty rating, so if the map is too easy, you're really likely to get black holes. That's the RNG manipulation that I was talking about in the video, by the way. People intentionally making the map as hard as possible, as fast as possible, to prevent the black hole from coming up as much. But with that in mind, when designing the competitive rule set, the reason that I wanted to do it in the first place was because tournaments were taking too long. Every game took 12 rounds, and I wanted to lower it to 10 rounds, because logistically it just improves tournament runtime by so much. But in order to decrease the number of rounds without making the game less fun, we need to find a way to fit 12 rounds worth of gameplay and experience into 10 rounds. And the way I figured we should do that is by increasing the average quality of what you see in party boxes. A lot of the time with old rule sets, it would be pretty common for any given round that a party box comes up and you just don't get something that you can do anything with. So lowering the number of unique, non-hazardous blocks limits the possibility for a party box to be fully filled with useless things. And by the same idea, you know, the less useful items can be banned, like things that can show up and could work competitively but never really get used because it's almost impossible to actually build with, like the diagonal moving platform or the 2x1 moving platform. Those things are banned. Another idea is like cycles. If there are too many cycles in one space, you have to wait for the cycles to line up before you start, and that's bad for tournament runtime and it's bad for the experience. So the more egregious cycles, like the propeller fan, the flamethrower, stuff like that had to get banned. Beyond that, there's other reasons, like some things are just fundamentally not compatible with competitive play, like jetpacks don't work, the bigger bombs don't work because it just completely skews the balance of building. Crumbling blocks don't work. Portals sadly don't work. There's a lot of things that don't work because, like, if I placed a one-way door, right, and there's a setup that required you to use a one-way door bait to get through it, and my opponent was up by a point. They could just get to the one-way door and sit on it to keep it open, and then the one-way door bait becomes impossible. This is called trigger gating. So because of that, these just fundamentally don't work in the rule set. Those are the general ideas behind why things are banned. Okay, let me take a drink of water because my throat is hurting, bro. Oh my goodness. Ah. How insane is 1K watch hours in 4 hours? This video is doing really well, Domu. This video is seriously, it's doing really well. 10.7K already, when the next best I've ever had was 6.9K at this point. That's disgustingly good. We'll see though. The YouTube algorithm can be cruel sometimes. Sometimes you'll think, oh, this is going to be my new best video, and then it just slows down. I don't think this video will reach the heights of the Raito video. It's very unlikely. I've never had an Arby's sandwich, so I don't know, Pasta Guy. Okay, guys, stop. Okay, don't type in this channel if you're not asking an Ask Bojack question. Don't respond to other questions, because then I have to sort through them all, and I might miss them. No, don't ask joke questions either, please. Can you describe the ideal UCH Fortnite cosmetic pack? I could try my absolute best, but even if I did, I wouldn't do a good job, so I'm not going to. Bojack, do you think a stream highlights video with my best clips from streams would do good? No. Truthfully, I don't think it would. People don't give a shit about UCH. That is the hard truth. If you want to make it as a UCH content creator, that's the first and foremost thing you need to understand. I would like to change that. Obviously, that's my goal. But right now, in the current content landscape, people don't care about UCH. So you need to find a way to tell a story about something people do care about, and you're just using UCH as the framework for doing that. UCH is the delivery system. It's not the content itself. So, like, if you want stream highlight videos to do well, one of two things has to be the case. Either people care about you or they care about the thing that you're doing. We already know, people don't care about UCH that much. And, if you want to make videos that do well in the UCH community specifically, then yeah, people do care about you because you're Kroitz. You're the best player in the world. So yeah, on a local level, they can succeed. But if you want to grow and if you want it to be a real thing that you're doing, like content creation, I don't think this would work out. But I don't know, it depends on the person. Anything is possible, and I've been proven wrong time and time again in my life. Who knows? Bojack, what happens to the item drop chance when all allowed items are set to max percentage? They're just evenly distributed. Because max, the percentages are relative. If I raise one percentage, it lowers other percentages. See? Why does everyone have goofy-ass names of their versions of their names on the server? Because, I don't know. I'm Bojack, and the first vowel of my name is O. So, Domu, Kyoto, Porky, Bowser Jr., Morphon. Y'all know. Guys, stop, please. Stop. No more of this. No more of this. No more. I'm experiencing burnout in GD, and I'm wondering if you have any strategies that may help with it. Honestly, I'm not the best guy to ask, I think. Try and find a way to make it fun for yourself. Don't just force it down mid. Because if you're forcing it, you're not going to improve as fast, and you're going to burn out. It's a recipe for disaster. Try and find a way to have fun. If it's something you used to have fun with and you don't now, look at what you used to do versus what you do now and try and see what's different. Can you try to pronounce my username? I want to hear how bad it sounds with an English-speaking accent. Villalepa. I don't know. I hope I got that. I might have gotten that very wrong. Flower, I'm not repeating my answers. No. You can look at the graph. This is the UCH graph. But you have 5 seconds. It's gone. Why is it that when you super jump, the momentum from your ground jump plus wall jump gets added for a higher jump height, but buffering a wall jump from falling doesn't result in a lower wall jump? Because the second you touch the wall, you are not accelerating downwards anymore. I think this actually used to be the case, though. I think it might even still be the case. But, like, once you've reached max fall speed, you are no longer accelerating downwards. I actually think... I don't know, but if I had to guess, if I had to intuit based on my understanding of how the rest of the game works, probably if you did a wall jump when you have not yet reached max fall speed, you probably would get a lower wall jump. I mean, hell, we can test it right now. How long does it take to get max fall speed is the question. I don't know why I'm doing all that. Let's use this as our measuring stick. So where did I go? Respawn. I reached about... Where did I jump from? I reached my hand touching the yellow block, and I jumped from... It's really hard to tell. So if I jump from here... Yeah, okay, proven. If I jump from the same spot, I go higher when I'm not accelerating downwards. So you do get a lower jump. Myth busted. So true random, basically? Not exactly, Miso, because you still have the same underlying factors that, like, change what comes up in the box, like skews the probabilities. Bojack, Mr. Bojack, how did you realize you liked horse more than raccoon? I just happened to play... I think what it was, I used to play a lot with Larspers. Larspers was... He taught me a lot about the game when I was first getting into it, and he played horse. And one thing that he was really good at that I wasn't was staying on a wall with quick jumps. And I know nowadays this is piss easy, but back in the day, before the aerial inertia modifier existed, quick jumping to stay on a wall was really, really hard. This is the main reason that UCH was so much harder pre-hippo. But he was good at it and I wasn't. And I figured, like, he just looked so clean with it. So I tried out horse to do it, and lo and behold, I immediately became better. Something just naturally clicked in my brain, and I started playing him more. I'm like, oh, this is kind of awesome. And the raccoon is just kind of blocky, and his motion doesn't look as fluid. He's still a good character, but he's no horse. So that's how I discovered it. How could TOs help improve the conversion section of the marketing funnel? Alright, the big thing. I don't know if this is something that TOs have to do, but I think this is something that I have to do, is figure out how to keep the game fun for top players and avoid degenerate strategies that make the game less fun. Competitive gaming, it really is a trickle-down type of thing, where if top players join, more people join. The community is much better off when top players join. So, like, find a way to make the game fun for Morphin right now and have him enter tournaments, and that's the fix. Same with Kreutz, same with Fish. Raito's entering, but, you know, maybe fly him out to the US or something so we can have a better time zone. But yeah, something like that is really important. Beyond that, just, like, try your best to look good. You know, think of the tournaments that you're hosting. Think of the aesthetic, think of the brand, think of the impression that you are giving off. Some tournaments come off better and they get more entrants, full stop. Put in effort. Don't just throw something up like, oh, I'm hosting a tournament for the sake of hosting it, let's just name it whatever. Lock in. You know, it makes a really big difference. It actually does. Beyond that, I guess just not neglecting your obligations as a TO. Like, make sure you're prepared and everything goes well. Somebody should host a bounty hunter tournament. That's one thing. Challenge. Use the standard rule set and try to rebuild the current tournament block probabilities without looking. I couldn't, and that would be fun, but there's so many questions that I should get through. Possum, absolutely not. Is this tough? Yeah, this is pretty tough. This is pretty tough. Pigs, I have not watched the Among Us show, and I will not. Are you going to play Map Packs today? Not today. Not today. I have some work that I do need to do, so I don't know how much extra I'm going to do after Ask Bojack is done, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm probably just going to glue myself to the analytics for a while. Just look at that. Because it's really fun. I love doing it. Also, I've definitely been ignoring all the YouTube comments. Once again, my bad, guys. Oh, no, I haven't. Okay. Yeah, if anyone's ever a YouTube chatter, I'm less likely to respond to your messages. Just because I'm so used to streaming on Twitch. So come watch me on Twitch. Could you add YouTube chat to stream layout? I actually can't. It's against terms of service. You can't have a joined chat between both YouTube and Twitch. Could it be a possibility that we raise money to fly Raito to the US so he plays best? I don't think he would want to. I don't think it would actually make that big a difference. Okay, what we actually need to do. Here is something that TOs can do. If you live in Asia and you are a UCH TO, try and foster an Asian-specific UCH community. That is what we need more than anything else. Raito doesn't have like many people to play with. There aren't tournaments that are hosted at times that are good for them, and it's hard to get Asian players into the game because if, you know, they join, they see, oh, if I want to join a tournament, I need to stay up until 5 in the morning. They're probably going to pass, right? But if we had an Asian-specific community, we could have tournaments, you know, we could have regular tournaments just be hosted for like NA in Europe, and then other tournaments be hosted maybe for Europe and Asia. And then, you know, we could have the big tournaments every once in a while be designed for like all time zones to work. That would be probably the single biggest thing that another TO could do. If you want to help the community, we need an Asian community. Because I think, honest to God, I hate to say it, but the biggest reason we need an Asian community is just because of Raito. Like, obviously the other Asian players all need the exact same things, but it's just like the UCH as a whole does better when Raito's doing well. Every time he's on the screen and he's playing well, there's just something different about it. I don't know. And like watching rivalries like Raito vs Kreutz, Raito vs Morphin, I think it gets really stale when it's just Morphin and Kreutz playing grand finals. I think it gets stale pretty quickly. But Raito's just, I don't know, he's just electric. He's just electric. And him being able to play the game more would genuinely make a big difference for it. Honestly, like, starting a separate competitive server, like, just UCH Asia. Bojack, how do you design so well? What do you mean in terms of design? Like, designing what? Are we talking about thumbnails? Are we talking about, like... If we're talking about... Am I stupid? If we're talking about tournament logos... I think my design is alright. Like, I did Rookie Rumble. I think this is a good logo. But, you know, the best logos I've had, like Distortion, is great. I commissioned this. I commissioned this from someone who's better. Like, I had a general idea of what I wanted it to be, but I commissioned it. In terms of thumbnails, genuinely, alright, if you're an aspiring YouTuber, let me hit you with something, okay? Let me hit you with something big. I will make a thumbnail right now for you guys. It's so freaking easy. First of all, the thing you need more than anything else is all of the UCH assets. Get Asset Studio or something. Get UCH assets. If you are genuinely serious about making content, and I am certain that you are serious about making content, because I don't want to just have to do this for a billion people, but if you're making content and you want UCH assets, hit me up. I'll do it. Design's freaking easy, bro. Freaking easy. I have all the character sprites. Let's go with Skunk. Let's go Skunk cursor like this. Bang. Copy. Paste. That's big enough. That'll do. Everything should have... shadow. Where is it? Duplicate layers. Edit layer attributes. Lock alpha. Go here. Boom. See how much better the squirrel looks when there's a shadow beneath him, and see how fast it is to just make one? Get the UCH font. Ah. Okay, and then we'll make this white. Same thing. Duplicate layers. Boom, turn this into black. Then... And then fuck it, you know, let's add in... Let's make this like blue or something, I don't know. Okay, there's step one, and then you need to add a layer for shadows. This shit's so important. wait. Shadows go here. No, they go here. Let's do like a 30 opacity. Do you see how big of a difference this is? No shadows. It's all right. Shadows. No shadows. Shadows. Maybe you want to do a highlight. This yellow works. Screw it. Maybe let's make this like blue as well. Fuck it. It's easy. I mean, honestly, this is not a crazy good thumbnail, but I don't know. You just need to think about your use of colors a lot. Think about what the background is. Like for all 3 of the thumbnails that I made yesterday. Thumbnail 1. Thumbnail 2. All I did was find the coolest looking backgrounds that made things pop out. And then I did the same thumbnail on all of them. I don't know. Bro, speedrunning? Making thumbnails is really fast. It used to be a long and painful process for me, genuinely. I hated making thumbnails. I was bad at it. It took forever. Do you know what's crazy? Genuinely, Damu, if you're in here, man, I'm not even joking. I owe the success of my channel to Damu because he told me to start using shadows. Look at, these are my thumbnails before Damu gave me advice. These are my thumbnails after Damu gave me advice. Night and day difference. It's crazy. It's absurd. Damu Glaze goes crazy. It's valid glaze, man. It's valid glaze. Damu was completely correct. Like, my channel was doing nothing, and then I started doing that. Like, making content is 50% about just getting the right title and thumbnail. That's 50% of what it is. Once you find a format that works and you latch onto it and you iterate and get better, your channel will do better. That's just what matters. Bojack, are you going to play with me? No, I'm sorry. I'm not. If you're talking about design in terms of programming, I think my design is actually pretty bad. I think my UI and UX is actually pretty weak. What's your opinion on all characters competitively? Horse, bunny, sheep. SS tier. Raccoon. Squirrel. S tier. Macaw, A tier. Chameleon, A tier. And then I don't really care about any of the other characters after that, because I think they're not great. Bojack, did you hear about the supposed Chinese randos earlier today that were consistently hitting wire crawls? Or block crawls? They were probably doing something else, or maybe they were cheating in some way, very possible. Or they were using a line, or the person who reported it was like inaccurate or remembering incorrectly. Block crawls are definitely not consistent in the base game without lines. No way. Is trying to recreate my best clips in UCH a better video premise or still too local? Christ, let me tell you what you need to do to make a video, okay? You need to understand what you have that other people don't. You are the best player in the world. Let me say that again. You are the best player in the world, the rank 1 player. There are people who play the game and want to hear what you have to say. Talk about it. Go into stream and watch a set and genuinely just talk about what you did, or talk about like if you're playing against Morphin, talk about like, oh, he's like really good at this kind of stuff, or like, you know, maybe VB would be insane in this situation, or like I was really scared Morphin would do this. Talk about what you were thinking about while, you know, well, I don't know, just talk about it. And like that works for stream. You could do that. You could talk about that on stream, clip that into a video, and then title it like, you know, what the best player, what the best UCH player or best Ultimate Chicken Horse player does differently. And in fact, okay, I will say, if you're ever gonna make a video about UCH, you have to use the title. The title has to be Ultimate Chicken Horse. It can't be UCH. Because, like, the entire appeal of competitive UCH is that a game that sounds as silly as Ultimate Chicken Horse has a competitive scene. That creates a disjoint in the viewer's brain. It doesn't make sense. It makes them curious. It makes them want to know things. So for you, best player, Ultimate Chicken Horse. You see how that could be like a confusing statement to somebody who has no context and they might want to know more? What does the best Ultimate Chicken Horse player in the world do differently? What do you bring to the table? Figure that out, and that's how you make content. Views seem pretty repetitive as well. What do you mean, Damu? Whoa, oh, dude, this video is actually... Could this actually pass the Raito video? Like, I'm not trying to say anything too soon, but, like, this is ridiculous. I've never seen this many views so fast. Holy moly, dude. Bojack, if you had to choose, would you rather be Chinese or Aussie? I like warm weather. I would love Australia. I mean, China's also really warm in the south, but the only problem is the spiders. I actually have such a problem where, like, if I'm eating food and I see a spider, all of a sudden it feels like the food in my mouth is spiders and I physically just can't eat it anymore. It's bad. I actually go out of my way to avoid eating in places that might have spiders or bugs or anything. I think it's because I accidentally, like a long time ago, I bit into some food that had been spoiled and filled with bugs, and it was awful. I did that as a kid, and I think that definitely changed things for me. So maybe Australia would be bad. China is interesting to me. I would love to visit China, and I might be going sometime later this year. Because I'm just fascinated by the country. I really am. Tiki or Yara Yara? Absolutely Yara Yara. Tiki Funk has nothing on Yara Yara, respectfully. Bojack, are you going to play with me? I'm sorry, I will not. I will release the redacted techno to me. No, don't do it. Bojack, I wasn't clear last time. How are you so good at designing UCH maps? Alright, I got you. The answer comes down, for the most part, the answer comes down to I have a lot of experience playing the game. It's the same way, you know, if Morphin is playing a game and you give him a spike ball, he can find 50 placements for it and an average player might find 5. He has experience with the game, he has built up the pattern recognition so he can just see what's good. At the end of the day, that's the biggest part. But like, I think when it comes to map design, you just need to think about it in terms of creating gameplay. If you are ever making a decision about what you're going to do for your map and you aren't thinking about the gameplay, what's the point? Like, a lot of the time people will build maps and they'll kind of just place blocks in a way that makes sense and then just make art. But like, level design is a very intentional thing. Like right here, I very specifically placed this block here. Okay. Let me explain a decision that I made, okay? Originally, this red wire didn't exist. But the problem was, when the red wire doesn't exist, and you do a full jump from here, you die to this. But I really like this gameplay for competitive players, but if I want a map to be tournament legal, I can't design it in a way that is unfun or too difficult for newer players. So I added this wire, because if you do a full jump height jump with a bad coyote timing, you will get to this wall. So it's still not the optimal method. Like, good players still do better things, but for new players, they don't have to think, you know, it just naturally lines up in a way that is good for them. So, I don't know, stuff like that allows you to be more creative in the design decisions you make when it comes to gameplay. And also, like, floating wires are a godsend. Try and find a way to use floating wires that fits with the aesthetic and theme of your map. This is awesome. Like, this downward gameplay here, every single time I've played on this map, there's been good gameplay here, and it has been unique. I think for the longest time, we've always been saying downwards gameplay is bad. Because nobody was good at making good downwards gameplay. But you can. There is good downwards gameplay, and I'm trying to experiment more with that now. But like, anytime I build a map, like, I think the reason I'm good at designing gameplay is because every time I build a party map, I go into it with an idea of what I want to experiment with respect to gameplay. Like with this map, I wanted to experiment with fans. I think fans are really cool. I think there's unexplored stuff there, so I picked an idea thematically that would allow me to place fans without looking out of place. If we look, I can tell you exactly what my thoughts were for some other maps as well. Entropy. I made Entropy because I had one section in mind and I wanted to build a map around it. This section right here. This is around the time when I started realizing that there was more potential in downwards gameplay. I wanted to try this and then I just built a map that fit around it. You just got to experiment. And like, again, if you want to design good maps, I can't overstate. Don't shy away from pre-built hazards. People get the wrong idea a lot of the time. People really get the wrong idea about pre-placed wires. I think it's... I don't think you can make a map above a 7 out of 10 without pre-placed hazards. I don't think it's possible anymore. I'm gonna be honest. You just need to be smart about how you build them. They shouldn't be the gameplay. They should create the gameplay. Or like another example of something I was experimenting with. Where is it? Okay, Unravel, this wasn't a gameplay experiment, but I was experimenting with, like, what's it called? Distortion. Abstract. I was just experimenting with a more abstract style that I wanted to try. That's not gameplay-wise. I don't know. At the end of the day, just think about the jumps that the players have to do to get through your level. Those jumps, because if I have to do a specific jump in order to get by, then anything you add on top of that works with that jump. If you restrict the players so that they have to do things a certain way, then anything you add on top of that, they have to do it in a certain way modified by what you placed. What you placed interacts with the existing gameplay rather than what you placed being the entirety of the gameplay. So like for this map, unfortunately not tournament legal anymore because low-key, I got so lazy with making these sections. They're ass. They're ass. But I made this map because of this section specifically. I really like this section. I think it creates a lot of interesting gameplay. Just experiment. If you want to get good, experiment. Try new things. Get crazy. Bojack, will you, or someone else, design a mod that greatly enhances the free play experience, both for practicing and making maps? I feel as if the limited tools are holding back what people can make right now. That already exists. But I could see myself doing that. I also could see the developers doing that. I think that improving free play is a priority of the developers. If you're thinking about like the long-term community of your game, that kind of stuff matters a lot. Bojack, will you marry him or play with me? Yeah, I will marry him no matter what. Are you kidding me? Look at this guy. What a handsome... Wow. Bojack, would you play with me to get out of playing with Flower? I'm not playing with anyone. What's the best Schlumpsk map gameplay-wise? You have a lot of really good maps. Let me try and pick one. I played on this the other day. I really like this map. I love the aesthetic. The custom colors, you did a great job with that. Oh, this map. Soul Search is so good. Every game I play on this map is great. I think you cooked on this map. Yeah, no, the answer is just Soul Search. You really cooked on this map. This map is also good. Don't get me wrong. Or wait, it's the other one. It's the other one. You have two really similar maps. All of your maps in this style are good. Final answer. How good do you think floating wires are? I'm a bit skeptical as they break when I save the map. That's because you're not placing them correctly. If you want to place floating wires, you have to do it like this, okay? The only thing you need to understand is that when you reload a map, the wires will return to their parent block. So if I move these wires here, right? I'll put this around. This is where the parent block is, right? I'll save it. The first time I reload the map, it will be fine. Save it again. The second time I reload the map, they move back to where the parent block was. So if you want them to always move back to the correct spot, what you gotta do, let's say I want wires here, here, and here, right? Maybe here, like this. Maybe I want these wires. I have to move the wires off of the block, take away the block, and then move it back. I think I put that in the right spot, but let's just... This is where the blocks were. One out from that. Let's save it. Here you go. See? They return back to the right spot. No problem. Is he muted? Am I muted? I hope I'm not muted. My mic says it's working. Flower, stop, please. No. How are you getting them without a mod? It is possible to do it without a mod. I don't know. Ask Flower or Unmei. It is definitely possible. Oh, okay, I see. Alright. Here's one thing I will say. Not to diminish what you're doing, Flower. Not to diminish what you're doing. But, like, you can recreate... When I said that you can't make the same shot without UCH Studio, you can recreate the shot by just zooming out and then using keyframes, for sure. But, like, if you zoom in, the quality goes down. The only way to make a shot with high quality on this scale is with UCH Studio. It's just not possible otherwise. Correct. Alright, with that, do we have any more questions? I don't think I'm gonna do, like, content today. I think I'm just doing the Ask Bojack for now. Wait, so why is Bunny so good? Because the art is fluid and it lines up with the hitbox and it gives you good visual indicators. There are a lot of intangible things when it comes down to, like, what you see versus how you perform. Vision is really, really, really important in every single competitive field. Having good vision makes a big difference. And the fact that I can see where Bunny is and know where I am with visual clarity without needing to do any additional processing to adjust for the disjoint and hitbox will just make me better. Bunny, horse, sheep, raccoon are factually better than characters like Platypus. Playing Platypus will limit your ability to grow in long term. Genuinely. That is real. It's not just a matter of getting used to it. Yo, can you check YouTube chat, please? I just typed some message in it. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Let me... Sorry, I didn't mean to ignore. Will you make a community tab on YouTube? Don't I already have one? Is UCH2 better or worse than the original? UCH2, it's a different... It's not like a sequel to UCH directly. It's USR, Ultimate Sheep Raccoon. It's a very different game. It's not my cup of tea. Just because I'm a UCH guy at the end of the day. I love the platforming, and I think putting the characters on bikes, while not necessarily bad, it is a different game from what I go for. I think it's in good hands. I think right now it's definitely in a worse state than UCH is, but I don't know. I've talked to the developers. I've heard their ideas, their plans. I do think it's in good hands, genuinely. Hi, bro. I just found out your channel. I'm Russian, but I'm good at understanding English speech, and I don't have UCH at Steam, but I like watching any videos about it, so I didn't finish watching the video, but I like you. I'm going to bed. It's 11:44 in Moscow right now. Good night, bro. Well, good night, homie. I'm really tired after I was walking with my friend and his girlfriend. He's a really good person, and I'm glad you have good friends in your life. I think it's an interesting situation. Random dude joins your stream, don't even know who you are, and started talking some shit about his day. Yeah, man. I think I made a lot of mistakes while writing this. I don't know what you're on about, but I like it. I like it. Do comp UCH players welcome gay people? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, there's a lot of queer representation in the UCH community, big time. Somebody from Mexico? I don't know if I would put Mexicans in the queer community personally. Maybe some people would disagree. I'm all ears, but That's more of like a country situation. Are you one of the best? Yeah, I am one of the best. Seen you on Melee Twitter. Who do you play? Hey, let me show you, man. I will use any opportunity to plug my combo video because I think I'm the sickest Sheik alive, brother. I think I'm sick. I play Sheik. Watch this, man. Wow. Wait. Actually, just real quick. I'll respond to chat while I'm doing this. Woke up today and realized my muscles were 10 times sharper and my jawline 10 times sharper. Then I remember it's all because I'm subbed to Bojack UCH. That's true! Oh my god, I'm glad you recognize that because a lot of people don't know, and it's so bad for them that they don't realize that being subbed to Bojack UCH actually makes you a better and more complete person. That's real. I read, science said that the other day. Sicker than J-Move? No, I'm not sicker than J-Move. But he's sick because he's good, not because he's doing, like, I don't know. I think I'm sick, bro. I don't know. Was I the first career UCH player? No, you weren't. Coldheart. I mean, even Coldheart, there's definitely UCH is like, it's very queer coded, you know? Bojack, I'm subbed, but I'm still a chud. Do I have like an outdated version or something? You might be. It might be outdated, unfortunately. Okay, nobody kills Puff in that situation, by the way. Not one person in the world. How are you killing Puff here? How are you killing Puff here if you're not me? Crazy tech chase into the weird late hit of the bear to get the grab for the down throw up. Oh my god, that's crazy. This combo sucks. I don't know why I put this in. I'm sorry, guys. I don't think he meant that. Oh yeah, I know. I was just joking. Who is from Mexico in the comp community? I don't think there's anyone from Mexico these days. There used to be Marfy was a top player and he was Mexican, and there was like a pretty big Mexican and like Latin American community. Or not big, but like there was a group of people who played with each other regularly who were from those areas. Lots of Mexican players specifically. Do you play Smash Ultimate? I do not. I do not. Melee is the one for me. 2. Alright, take it easy, Viper. Either make a way or collision. I ain't here to play, nigga, I'm on a mission. Nothing to do, sell, smoke, and drive. 20 in your pocket, million on your mind. What's happening? Honestly, I actually don't know why I'm showing you guys my combo video. Someone asked something about Melee. That's who I play. But if I just say I play Sheik, Sheik's kind of a lame character, so it's like a bad look for me, you feel me? So I gotta show them, like, no, guys, I swear I'm one of the cool ones. That's all. What do you think? Why do you think no one is playing Chameleon? It's my all-time fave. I don't know if Chameleon's a good character, to be honest. I haven't played him enough to know. Coldheart used to play a lot of Chameleon. Who knows? But I don't know. It's weird because the Chameleon is a cool character. He has great outfits and like fun dance. I like his sounds. He's not necessarily a bad character. I like this Chameleon outfit. Yeah, I don't know. I honestly couldn't tell you why more people don't play Chameleon. Bojack, sir, I'm considering trying other characters. Specifically, I'm starting to use Snake. Is that going to limit me? Is it fine? Snake is actually really good. Coldheart, main Snake for a long time. Fish was playing Snake. I don't think he's a top tier character, but he's like... His hitbox actually does make a lot of sense, and his visual indicators are solid. Plus, I love the sounds that he makes, and he has really cool outfits. So yeah, Snake is fine. Snake is honestly one of the best characters outside of the main 4. Let's play Risk of Rain 2. No, sorry. Punch, we gotta be the Mexico representatives. Lock in, it's time. It's time. LMAO, that's valid. I didn't see any shameless chain grabbing, so you get the pass. I am a very proud non-chain grabber. I've almost never chain grab. If it's like a situation where it's like DI in is no chain grab, but DI out is, like if I'm playing against Marth, I will chain grab on the DI out just because it's like, I need to force them to do the DI in so I can do actual cool punishes. But, you know, if I'm playing like it's like Ness or Roy, even though I know I have good chain grabs, I don't go for it. Cause like Sheik wins regardless. If you don't need a chain grab. If you need a chain grab to beat a Ness player, you're a chud. I'm sorry. Lock in and improve. It's okay. I didn't even want to. Do you play Rivals too? I don't. I'm not a big fan. UCH Polish player tier list? Holy moly. Alright, let's think of who we got. We have Kiata, Namu, Pausia, Fish, Bran. I know for a fact there's way, way, way more, and I'm blanking. I think there's even a high-level UCH, Polish UCH player. I'm throwing in Mickey. That guy's Polish GOAT. Newt is not... No, Newt is Finnish. Newt is Finnish. No, I'm not going to actually rank the people, though, because that's not nice. UCH World Regions tier list. It is Poland, number 1. Germany, number 2. Brazil, number 3. Because Brazil might... Okay, low-key, is Brazil number 1 now? Like, are we talking about all-time, or are we talking about current players? Because if we're talking about current players, if it's like a 3-person crew battle, because I don't think we can do more than 3, I feel pretty strongly that Brazil wins that. Milena, Tornado, and Bidu is a crazy combination. Crazy combination. Alright, so if we're talking all-time, Poland is absolutely number 1. Poland is definitely number 1. US is also really strong, because you've got VB, you've got Ember. Who's the next best American player? Well, if we're talking all-time players... what about, like, Kevin? Kevin was really good. He's definitely up there. He would probably be the next best. Hardcore wheel when? Is Raito good enough to put Japan high on the list? No, there aren't enough good Japanese players. Poland is number 1, no question. Kiata, Pausia, and Fish is a crazy list, and like even if you extended it beyond that, it's still crazy. I think Germany is number 2. Although, okay, low-key, wait a minute. Is Germany number 1? Because Coldheart is the GOAT, and Kreutz is unquestionably top 3 of all time. And like, you know, I would say in very real contention for top 2 as well. Yeah, okay, wait, who's the 3rd best German, though? Apf? Unmei? Ford? No, not Ford Prefect. I'm the 2nd best Canadian. Are you Canadian? You might be the 2nd best Canadian. There aren't too many of us. It's like me, Menace. Oh, Gaming Beast. Wait, Canada's actually kind of good now that we have Gaming Beast. Okay, Germany. We'll just throw Unmei in there. I actually think Germany takes the number 1 spot then. Because that, I don't know. This is like depth, but Coldheart, Kreutz, and Unmei is ridiculous, man. USA, the UK is probably next. Because you got Morphin, you got Selly, you got... Why am I blanking? There's another one. There's another really good British player. It's not Flop. There's no way Flop is the 3rd best British player. There's another one. Oh yeah, the USA. Okay, USA is up there too then. Variety Bear. I think Ember would be number 1 all time there. Schlumska's in USA? Oh, my bad. Put the big S on top. Okay, am I stupid? Who is the best? Okay, you know what? Let's bring it up. Let's bring it up. Okay, Germany, Poland, Japan, Canada, England, UK, Poland, England. Damn, it sucks that Evan XO is Irish because I think I think there are a lot of people who, and I'm one of them who big time object to throwing Ireland on here. But if you were allowed to include Evan, then UK would be 3. But if it's flop number 3, then UK gets cleared by US and Germany. Sorry, US and Brazil. Brazil is Bidu, Milena, Tornado. Brazil clears the challenge mode in speedrunning, though. Holy shit. Who's the next best Canadian? Menace? Oh, Duke. Duke. I mean, he wasn't Canadian, but he moved to Canada. He lived in Canada while playing UCH, and he was a good player. I feel like I should know. I should have a better idea of who the other Canadian players are. What do you think of the Fox? It's all right. It's not. I'm not huge. Like, I don't love playing the Fox, but it is a cool character. Hello, what's up, Real Baz? No way we're putting Menace on this list? I think we have to, bro. Like, Menace is just... Who else is... Like, what other Canadian players exist? There's no one. There's no one, genuinely. Finland is pretty good, right? Duck? Oh, you're right. You're right. Cook, brother. Cook. Thank you. Yes, Duck is better than Menace. Okay, what other countries would be above Canada is the question. Okay, wait. Let me... I literally have a list. Now I'm thinking about it. Okay, my list was Poland, USA, Germany. Okay, well, this is just wrong now. But it's definitely Germany, Poland, USA, UK, Brazil, Canada, Japan, because you got Raito, and then you have, like... Igirmi was good, and Val JP. Japan next makes sense. China had some good players. I think this is honestly just like the full list then. Okay, you guys can't see this then. Oops. All right, this is the top 7 best countries all time in UCH. Germany. Okay, but realistically, this is only if we're counting lists of 3. If we are counting just general all time, it is unquestionably Poland, then US, then Germany. Germany has, like, the top end. Cold Heart Quartz is ridiculous, but, like, it doesn't have the same depth. If you extend it to 5 or more, Germany's losing. Newton Weiser in Finland. There's another player as well, but I don't remember who. Big things today. Big things today. Massive things today. Thoughts on Squirrel? I used to hate Squirrel. I actually used to hate Squirrel because the noises he made, they were just so annoying. I've grown on him, man. I actually really like Squirrel. He would be like one of the characters I play other than Horse. I really like him. All right, this is my final list. Look at it now before I delete it. Oh yeah, Pier. Pier is Finnish. Yeah. Useless based on animals? Yeah, okay, screw it. Why not? Okay, it's hard because what animal does Morphin belong to? And what animal does Kreutz belong to? Because he's horse and raccoon. Oh, Pausian and fish, obviously. I would give Horse Cold Heart. I genuinely would give because, like, for a long time he played whatever character he wanted to, but before that, and can any OG in the chat, if Wishark or Kiat are here, can you confirm? This was the Cold Heart outfit for a long time. This was like his main. He played this more than anything else. Is that crazy? I feel like we can give Cold Heart to Horse. Yeah, I think so. Bang! I don't really have a character. Yeah. I would honestly, Morphin, I feel like you are more horse than anything. If I had to pick one, it would be either horse or sheep. Maybe sheep. Okay, Kevin is a raccoon, absolutely. Raito VB. What are the other? Who are the other good bunnies? There's like Nell. That's crazy, bro. That's actually insane. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. That's insane. That I my bad. My bad. That's crazy. All right, we'll do competition. We'll do 3. We'll cap it at 3. Morphin, I'm giving you the horse. Fuck it. I'm giving you the horse. I will say, if we're giving horse, I think horse might actually just be the winner. Because, like, you can give Kreutz to raccoon, but I think you can equally give Kreutz to horse. You can give Morphin to anything, but I think you can give him the horse as much. Like, I think it's either horse or sheep. So, like, horse kind of has everyone. And Bidu, by the way, used the main horse, just so you guys know. Do chicken? No. Next best horse. Next best horse. Who's the next best one? Are we talking all time? I don't know how you place Wishart all time, to be honest, but he was a really good player for a long time. I feel like people forget, you know, Unk had it. Unk might even still got it. He did play horse primarily. Skunk was just an iconic main. Marvin, you gotta lock in, man. It's time to play Skunk. It's time to just be a Skunk main and accept it. Skunk is awesome. So good. Do characters have different hitboxes? They do not. They all have the same hitboxes. But sheep and horse just mogs. Yeah, it's true. It is true. Bunny as well. I mean, honestly, these are pretty solid lists. I think raccoon is very clearly the weakest, and then I'd say sheep. Which feels crazy to say. Sheep, historically in UCH, was the character for so long. But I feel pretty strongly like bunny and horse are both stronger overall than sheep and raccoon, I'd say. Sheep mog. Sheep does kind of mog. That's true. That is true. Tornado way better than fish. That's just not true. Tornado also plays horse. Yo, Zencat, my goat. Thank you for subscribing to Bojack UCH. You are now officially a better person. Congratulations. Low-key, I probably have to end stream soon, because I genuinely should respond to YouTube comments. That's, like, really important for engagement. If you were tasked to do a new UCH-based color palette, do you think you could do a better job? Absolutely, unquestionably, no doubt in my mind. I don't think it'd be all that hard. How much harder would it be to get top 5 not using one of the big 3 characters? I'm not going to answer this because I don't think I can give you a real answer. It's just too much of an intangible thing, and for me to give an answer would be acting like I know something that I do not know. I think, realistically, just looking at historically how few players make the top level without using the top 4 characters, I think it's probably a decent bit harder, like for real. How long do you have to go in the top 10 here before it's not a top character? Morphin, he plays horse. Kreutz, top character. Raito, fish. Pausia. Milena, macaw, but she's bunny now. So bunny. Nell, bunny. Ember, sheep. Master XD, sheep. Soup, sheep. Flying pigs at 11 with elephant is the first one. So literally the entire top 10 uses top 4 characters. And I think the same thing will be true here if we scroll up. Top character, top character, top character, top character. Number 9 is the first one. Then top character, top character, top character, top character. And then number 14, 15 aren't. I don't think you can chalk that up to a coincidence. Because historically, this has just always been the case. So I do think it's harder. Fish is snake or platypus now? That's... Yeah, but how long does that last? You know, how long does that last? Is boar a good character? Is there even a boar character? Is that... There isn't a... You're crazy. Bojack, why is Coldheart on the thumbnail? Here, I'll tell you why. He's on the thumbnail because I wanted to use red text. Okay, wait. The actual answer. I used red text to match the bow tie, but like when I'm doing the assets... when I had to grab the assets to make the thumbnail, I can't just take a screenshot of the horse and put it in, because then it's hard to work with it, expand it, get it in good resolution, or like add the shadow to it. All that stuff is just a pain in the ass. So I always do things through assets, and like... Am I stupid and blind? There it is. The default outfits are just a red bow tie and the black top hat. It's just the default, and changing the color to be accurate is a pain, and it's not worth it. And beyond that, like, this color just does a good job of popping out, in my opinion. Why? What do you mean? Why what? How is he so good? Fish plays sheep. He's played sheep for a long time. I don't think he's entered a tournament as platypus. Elephant's so good. Elephant is actually not that bad, genuinely. I think Elephant is one of the better players. Monkey believers rise up. Yeah, you're gonna want to stay down, pal. By the way, I thought this thumbnail was amazing. Thank you, Benbium. Yeah, I think it's a good thumbnail too. Low key, like, I'll turn my heat blanket back on. I'm going to try and be very intentional from here on out about following the same format, same structure for my thumbnail title combination that I did for this one. The most bizarre strategy ever used in Ultimate Chicken Horse. He built against himself. The entire idea I want to go for is like, they read the title and that makes them ask a question. And then the thumbnail answers part of that question, but not enough that they don't have to watch the video to satiate their curiosity. Because the thing is, I think when making UCH videos, it's actually really, really important to use the thumbnail as like a supplement, as part of the title, because you have to use Ultimate Chicken Horse in the title. You can't say UCH. And titles need to be short to be good, so there's only so many words you can throw around there. So if you want to convey an amount, some amount of information, you have to do some of it through the thumbnail, and then just leave the rest of it to the title and find the most simple, title you can. Otherwise, it just doesn't work. So that's the formula I'm going for. I think I did a good job here, because it's like, why Ferris wheels break Ultimate Chicken Horse? Asking a question, kind of answering it in the thumbnail, but why is it impossible to counter it? It doesn't give any more information. It gives them a reason to watch. I like when the title and thumbnail complement each other like that. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Why are all the top 4 characters the top 4 characters? The basic answer is that their hitboxes line... Like, okay, every character has the same hitbox. The only real distinction is how the hitbox is disjointed from the animations and the art. Horse, for any given animation, my character is where I expect him to be. Hippo is a big-ass clunky character. His hitbox is not going to be where I expect it to be, so I need to do additional work in my mind to translate where he is, where it looks like he is, to where he actually is. That will make you worse, in a very real way. Low-key, I always thought it was strange that you were supposed to read the title first when I always see the thumbnail first. The idea is like... How do I put it? The idea is just like, what I just described of asking a question and answering part of it is just so powerful, and you can't do it the other way around. The title has to ask the question, the thumbnail has to answer it, because if the thumbnail ask the question, then the title kind of answers it. That's not a title. It doesn't really tell them what they're expecting to see. They have to look at the thumb. It just breaks their expectations with how they use the platform normally. So yeah, the thumbnail is flashy to gain attention. The title, they read it, they ask a question, they look at the thumbnail again, answers it a little bit. So it's not like, the order doesn't really matter that much in that way. Mark my words, I will be top 1 with Platypus. I would love to see it. I wish you luck. Did you watch Sandstorm? I don't think I did. I was focused on... That's good, I like that. I was focused on Pickles. I was coaching him at the time, remember? Pickles. What do you think about people who play UCH on Switch? Raito played on Switch for a long time, and he got really good. I do think it's harder to reach a top level on Switch just because you are limited by the console. But like there are examples like Bowser Jr. He was a top player back in the day, really good. He played on Switch. Hell yeah, Chester. What was I just reading? YouTube comments. The game's hitboxes are so weird compared to its precision. Yeah, there's a lot of things that are visually awkward, especially when it comes to moving items. I think those are some areas where the hitboxes are rough. How do I get easy UCH training? Here you go. I will link you to the UCH Academy. This is the server to join. If you want to learn, join the UCH Academy. There are guides here that can teach you how to play the game. That is the best way. All right, with that being said, I'm gonna say 1 minute timer for the end of Ask Bojack. If you have any questions you want to ask them starting now. I will call it at the end of that, and whatever questions there, I'll answer, and then I'm gonna end stream. Time is ticking, guys. Things are getting desperate. I really wanted to make a little epic for Anonymous Tester Bot video. The narrative can barely be matched. Seeing Anonymous Tester Bot finally win it was awesome. That was awesome. Really happy she got her win. Very deserved. It's a round 5 tiebreaker. Yeah, it was insane. Oops. Bojack, are you gay? I am not gay. Do you like transgender people? I do like transgender people. I think I like them in the same way I like other people. They're just normal people. Mr. Bojack, do you hate Yuri? I don't have an opinion on it. To be honest, I don't have a strong opinion about Yuri. What's a good time for hosting Asian tournaments? I'm not in Asia, so I'm not the guy to ask for that, frankly. Whatever time, just talk to other Asian players and see what times work for them. What do you think about Jews? This is a weird question to ask. There is not a single group or denomination of people that I inherently have anything against in any capacity. I think we're all born equal, and we are a product of the circumstances we were brought up in. That being said, don't take that as me being like, I don't support Israel, Free Palestine, they're committing a genocide. But I think that has nothing to do with the Jewish people, so to say. Bojack, please tell me how heightened you aren't. I am not 5'9", and I am not 5'11", I think. When will you ban me? When you do something bad and get banned for it. Alright, time is up. Mr. Bojack, do you love Yuri/Yaoi? No. When are you next playing ranked? I don't know. It depends. Like, again, I have some other really big things. that I am prioritizing in the next week. And depending on how that goes, I might have a lot of other stuff to do. So we'll see. We'll see. How would a bounty hunter tournament work? Alright, let me give you something. Zencat. I could tell you the answer, but it would be less, like, if you want to host a bounty hunter tournament, me telling you the answer would be of less value to you than you sitting down and thinking it through and trying to find the answer yourself. Knowledge gained through genuine understanding and acquisition rather than just being told is so much more real It'll make you a more complete person. And at the end of the day, if you want to host a tournament, understanding it on a deep level, understanding what can go wrong, you know, how things can go wrong, what you need to do, what you know, at any given time, that stuff matters a lot. And if you don't come to an understanding through your own merit, it's a lot less likely that you'll do a good job. So lock in, sit down, and genuinely just think about the format. Do your best. If you have questions about the format and how it's played or stuff, you know, if you have answers for other things, I will help you out, absolutely. But I think if I'm truly trying to help you out, my best answer is that I shouldn't give you an answer. Would you rather team up with Bidu or Milena in a speedrun tournament? I teamed with Bidu in a speedrun tournament, and it was really, really fun. I would love to do that again. I would also love to team with Milena, but she's not like a speedrunner. Like, the big thing that I think is different about Bidu and Milena and their approach to challenge mode and speedrunning is that Milena is a grinder. She is a grind. Her ability to lock in and grind something is second to none, and I don't think it's close within the UCH community. With Bidu, he is a grinder, but he's also just like a very talented player. Like, his intuition and ability to pick up things quickly is second to none. So they're both good at different things. If it was a speedrun contest where, like, over the course of a couple weeks, we have to get the best time we can, I think Milena is probably the best bet. I think, if it's like what's it called? The tournaments that I host, the speedrun challenges, team speedrun challenge, whatever, where it's like one day, then I think Bidu is a better teammate. Oops. Milena said herself she wasn't a speedrunner. She isn't, but she also has the most impressive speedrun in the game by far. So, you know, do with that as you will. I don't think there's anything limiting Milena from being the best speedrunner. No doubt. Mr. Bojack, will you answer this one? Oh, I will. I'm sorry if I missed a question. My bad. Mr. Bojack, have you played on controller? And if so, how is it different from playing on keyboard? I've played on controller, but not seriously. I think travel time, if you're using an analog stick, travel time is explicitly worse. If you're using D-pad, I think the ergonomics feel worse to me. I don't know. It's really weird. I feel like on every level, keyboard should be strictly a better controller, but the data just shows the controller players don't, you know, they aren't lacking when it comes to performance. So I don't know. I really don't know. Well, I don't know about most impressive, but I do actually have the world record on 3-year-old niche party maps, so. Okay. I mean, that's pretty big. That's pretty. Jeez, didn't know I was with a celebrity here. In my chat, wow. Shaw. Lil Hornet saying Shaw in chat. Nice. I like that. That's a good bit. All right, I think that does it. I think we're good. Gang. It has been good. I'm going to be leaving now. Is there anyone I should raid? Nah, there's not. All right. In that case, goodbye, everyone. It has been lovely. I will stream again sometime soon. Expect consistent videos. Hopefully once every week, 2 every 3 weeks, something like that. Really excited for the future. Excited to see what it holds. Bye-bye for now.